Welcome to Footfield in Game 2 of the 2018 U16 Football Canada Western Challenge. Good evening, football fans. I'm Kevin Donnan, and I'll bring you the action tonight as Team BC battles Team Alberta for the right to play in the gold medal game versus Team Manitoba in this four-game, four-team tournament. Earlier this afternoon, Team Manitoba won big over Saskatchewan 20-10. I'm joined by Rob Harrod, who will provide analysis of today's game. And after the excitement of Game 1, are we ready for tonight's contest, Rob? We had a little bit of everything with Team Saskatchewan and Team Manitoba, and these two teams look like we're in for a great matchup this evening.
Yeah, excited to see BC and Alberta tee off here tonight. And, once again, we're going to see the best of both provinces at this age category, and that's always exciting. You're going to see all three phases of the game become very important: special teams, offense, and defense. And I think both of these teams are ready to go. The air is a little bit cooler than it was early afternoon in the sun, so that's going to be nice for the players out there and likely the fans who are now able to sit in the shade a little bit, but it's going to be a great evening of football.
Absolutely gorgeous evening here at Footfield on the South Campus of the University of Alberta. Of course, Team BC in the black and orange uniforms. Their numbers have got that camo feature on them, so bear with us on trying to find the numbers with Team BC because they are a little bit difficult to pick up. Team Alberta in blue and white, the host team, and we are almost ready to get this one underway. Of course, this is the U16 Western Challenge, the four Western provinces combining with all-star teams. Of course, going into this tournament, the rankings: Alberta, the number 1 seed; Manitoba, the 2 seed; the 3 seed Saskatchewan; and the 4 seed BC. So we're looking forward to a great one tonight. Of course, this is the second Western Challenge, and we're ready to get this one underway. There's the kickoff to the far side of the field, and that kick will travel out of bounds.
Quite the leg on that kicker. Unfortunately for him, it did travel out of bounds, but we can see how that plays into the game over the course of the entire game, all 4 quarters, because kicking field goals, punting, earlier on, it didn't play a big part of the game until really the 4th quarter, where Manitoba came up with some great punts, really good gaining some field position. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out in the second half of this doubleheader.
Technically, it is a penalty, illegal kickoff, so Team BC will start at their own 40-yard line. Looks like Cale Cowley in at quarterback. No, check that. There's those numbers again. Hunter Bowles, number 13 at quarterback. They're difficult to spot with the camo. Inside handoff, and the running back is taken down right at the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 2nd and 10. There is a BC player shaken up on this very first play. Want to thank you for joining us on footballcanada.tv. The Western Challenge, the U16, these all-star teams.
And right out of the hop, we've seen a little bit of different of approach philosophically from BC. Their quarterback is operating out of under center, and we didn't see as much of that in the first game.
All shotgun in the first game.
Yeah, and so to see that, maybe lends itself to seeing a little bit of a run game. It doesn't always mean that. Obviously, we saw a lot of running and a lot of effective running in the earlier game, but BC coming out under center right away. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out and develops over the course of the game.
Trying to get a number of the injured BC player.
Yeah, while we have a time, I was going to talk about this earlier, but it's good to see Football Canada continuing to develop the game of football, both at the older levels in the high schools, but also the minor football. And I know, every time something comes up in football, there's challenges. Is it growing? Is it not growing? But Football Canada has done a really, really good job, I think, of developing that, bringing awareness, developing coaches and players, and they're doing a great job out east, just kind of manning it from, I believe it's Ottawa where the office is.
Now, you've been involved in these all-star formats. It's a great opportunity not only for players but for coaches to network, learn from each other as well, isn't it? This development week, if you will, for not only the athletes but for the coaches.
Yeah, you're putting together obviously a game plan when you're managing one of these teams, and you're coming together with great minds, and those minds don't always think the same way, and so you've got to find a way to adapt maybe a philosophy thing or your approach to an offense or a defense, and really kind of find the best of what is out there. And then you also have the element of, okay, who are you bringing in? You're not bringing in kids that have played in a specific system for a long period of time, so you can't rely on a system necessarily. You've got to find something that works for this type of athlete coming from all over any of these provinces, and say, okay, what are we going to do to put the best team on the field? And they really have a very short amount of time to get these teams ready, and they don't play any games before this week, and so it can be a real challenge to see how are things going to come out, how are we going to adapt, because a lot of that happens, and we even saw that in the first game. There's a lot of changes in pace and a lot of different things tried, what works, what doesn't work, and then you get into a game like this, it's like, okay, now we got to figure out what's going to work. And now it really is, okay, we got to win this game, but we need to get ready for Saturday as well.
Absolutely, and that is the job in front of Trent Schmuland. He is the head coach of Team BC and a very familiar face to Alberta football. Darcy Park, also doing double duty, head coach of the Edmonton Wildcats as well. So a good sign to see the BC player. We can't get a number as yet. The BC player is now sitting up, so that's a good sign. As we mentioned, Darcy Park, head coach of the Edmonton Wildcats, looking to turn things around and looking and as you mentioned, when you're a coach in these all-star games, you're like a kid in a candy store, and I'm sure Darcy's thinking, boy, isn't this like you say, you've got so many of these great athletes to choose from. And here's the BC player back up on his feet, so that's a good sign. Recognize some of the medical staff from the Wildcats, so they are definitely when the medical staff is called in, Edmonton Wildcats first-class organization, and certainly these athletes couldn't be in better care. So we'll get the number. It is number 5. Xavier Cole looks to be shaken up and really slow getting off the field. So, but as I mentioned, some of the Wildcats training staff involved as well. So that's, like I say, in very good hands. So Xavier Cole from Sequam and Delta, 5'6", 170-pounder. They're going to take a close look at him, and hopefully he can get back into this ball game. Hurt on the very first play from scrimmage in the ball game. So 2nd and 10, back to the live action here. Bulls at quarterback. And he's taken down behind the line of scrimmage. That's number 52 of Team Alberta.
Well, it's great discipline play. He came upfield, the defensive lineman, and his job is to make sure the quarterback does not pull it. Great fake by the quarterback. He had the ball right in the running back's hands. He decided to pull it. But I like what I'm starting to see already early from BC. They've got a mobile quarterback, and they're not afraid to pull that ball. We didn't see that much of that last game. The quarterback was kind of there to run the offense and throw the ball. Looks like the quarterback's going to be an integral part of the running game for BC today.
Adrian Minikata from Team Alberta with the sack, and that'll bring up 3rd down. Just over a minute into this football game, Team BC taking on Team Alberta here in Game 2 of the U16 Western Challenge. And that kick's going to roll all the way back to the 35-yard line where it's fielded. Good downfield coverage. That's number 7, Dimitri Patterson. The nice play to take down the returner, Isaiah Oliveros from Sherwood Park. So nice bit of a line drive kick, but good downfield coverage by the BC Special Teams unit. And Team Alberta will start 1st and 10 from the 40. Number 1, Luke Nolan, 5'9", 140 pounds out of Calgary. Is your starting quarterback for Team Alberta. There's the quick pitch. Number 24, Niembo of the Harry Ainley Titans football factory. That thing just keeps going on and on and on. And Niembo now, imagine Brock Ralph will be excited to see him this September as Harry Ainley wants to continue on the roll there on pickup of 5 for Niembo.
Well, when you look out here on these provincial teams and you see a lot of one helmet, you know that
you're doing something right.
You know who the dominant teams in the high school ranks are right now.
You bet. 5-yard gain for Niembo of Harry Ainley. And Pass batted down, but intercepted by Team BC. Big turnover and a big touchdown, Team BC. The pass was batted down at the line of scrimmage. Number 34, Jamil Youssef, with the interception.
Well, great heads-up play. Ball sitting in your lap. Just the awareness to hold on to it because it's not typically something you're going to face. Great job of just grabbing the ball and then breaking the tackle from the quarterback who had a pretty good grasp of him, getting himself to the end zone. But great heads-up play by the defense. And you know what? Those are the types of plays that are going to change the momentum in this game. So BC capitalizes first on a turnover.
What a great play by the Team BC defense. What a shocker right off the start with 9:35 to go in the opening quarter, just a minute and a half in. Team BC strikes with a touchdown on defense. Not a bad little way to start a football game, Rob.
Well, there was no lack of excitement earlier in the game and in the previous game, and sure enough, we start this one just as much excitement, if not more. That's a great way for BC. You know they're going to be excited about that. Boys are excited. Good start to the game.
Jamil Youssef just getting mobbed on the Team BC sideline, and they came in here as the 4th seed, and when you're in a 4-team tournament and you're the 4th seed, you're going to come out with a little bit of a chip on your shoulder, and that's exactly what Team BC has done in a short tournament, and with only 4 teams, a couple of big plays you just never know. So now, can Team Alberta answers? Team BC up 7-0, following the point after, the successful point after, and now Team BC to kick things off. Number 15, Liam Atwood, and that kickoff is blown dead. Team BC a little excited to get things back into action, so they moved a little early, and the kickoff was blown dead. So Team Alberta will get another shot at things here on offense following a bit of a freaky play, but there, like you said, the ball was batted down right into Youssef's belly, and away he went. He was gone.
Yeah, and you were talking last year at this little mini tournament that Alberta only gave up, I think, 6 total points. So minutes into the first game, they've given up more now. It's not late on the defense, but the team overall now has given up more points already this year than they did last.
Number 22, Martin Cialo, will field this kickoff at his own 27. He'll go to the wide side. There is a flag on the play. Here's Cialo. He's got room. He's taken down inside Team BC territory at the 45, but there is a flag back at the Team Alberta 30-yard line.
And I think you're going to get an illegal block here on the return, and it was really, really close. I mean, if I was the returning team, I would have an argument. And if I was the guy on cover who got hit kind of from the side, maybe in the back, obviously from the ref's perspective, I'd be arguing this either way.
Good vision by Cialo on the return to break that one out into the open.
Well, I don't think this is going to be the last time we see the ball in his hands.
Absolutely.
With opportunities to make plays.
So that will set the line. The penalty will set the line of scrimmage back at the Team Alberta 20-yard line, where they will start their second series on offense. And at the same time, that was your first series. It was a bit of a fluke play, if you will. So now settle down. Let's just get back and get back into gear, which is exactly what Luke Nolan, number 1, the quarterback out of Calgary, is looking to do following that play earlier. Play action pass, and Nolan is dropped in the backfield, sacked as the BC defender coming around the edge on that strong side. That's number 55, Sterling May.
Well, great pursuit on the defense, and again, they didn't do anything special. I think what's happening is the offense is a little nervous. They haven't settled in. Quarterback looked like he had a fake. He pulls the ball looking for somebody, and there was nobody there, so he had nothing he could do with the ball. So putting themselves in a tough situation here again early on.
Big loss here, 2nd and 16 for Team Alberta. Pass out into the flat here. The wide receiver screen complete to number 10, Alec Iomanor from Medicine Hat, 6'1", 180, but nowhere near enough for the first down. Gets a couple of yards past the original line of scrimmage. So Team BC with a bit of a statement here on defense right now. They've had the turnover and the touchdown off the turnover, and now they get a big 3-and-out with a sack. Team BC's got all the momentum here early.
They do, and it is a game of momentum, and that can change quickly, but BC is going to have an opportunity here to continue to build on what they already have as a 7-0 lead, and we'll see how they get organized. It looks like there's a few young guys running around trying to find the right spots on special teams.
Jacob King of St. Albert, number 7, to kick the ball away for Team Alberta. And he gets away a big kick. Takes the returner back to his own 45. That's Nate Boscheman, and he's got a nice little return into Team Alberta territory. Give that a return of about almost 25 yards. Let's call it about 22 on the return. So a big kick by Team Alberta, but an equally good return by Team BC. And they're in business. They're on the Team Alberta 47-yard line with 7:40 to go here in the opening quarter. And BC would love nothing more than to get more points on the board here early in this football game. Number 13, Bowles at quarterback. Two-step drop in and out of the hands of the receiver. Coverage on the play by number 42, Joel DeMail of Red Deer.
You can see here he's got a real quick release. He gets the ball up, gets it right in his hands, and gets that ball out in a hurry. And again, only 8 to 10, 12 yards maybe away from the receiver. It came in there with some heat, so those receivers are going to have to get their hands up, help the quarterback out, and catch that ball.
2nd and 10 following the incomplete pass. Bulls at quarterback, number 13 for Team BC here on footballcanada.tv. Kevin Donnan along with Rob Herod. And here's Bulls now, back to pass, going to scramble left, now scrambles right, tries to escape the pressure and is taken down for a big loss behind the line of scrimmage. Good pursuit by the Team Alberta defensive line, and Bulls had nowhere to go, wrapped up by number 45, Max von Muhldorfer of Calgary, 6'2", 220, the big defensive tackle, showing some speed and taking down the mobile quarterback of Team BC. So big stand by the Team Alberta defense, Rob.
Yeah, that defensive line is going to spend all day chasing him around because he's a quarterback that's going to run. He's going to try to make plays with his feet. So they're going to have to keep up with him all day, and it was a great job right there getting the ball back.
Liam Atwood to kick things away for Team BC, and it's a high end-over-end kick fielded at the 30-yard line. About a 7-yard return. Ball carrier taken down in front of the Team Alberta bench. And Team Alberta will take over 1st and 10 after a pair of 2-and-outs by each offense. 7-0 Team BC if you're just joining us. 6:29 to go in the first quarter. Here on footballcanada.tv. Glad you're along with us. Whether you're from Manitoba or BC, Saskatchewan, Alberta, wherever you may be joining us, thanks for being with us here in the U16 Western Canada Challenge. Here's Luke Nolan now, handing off to Niembo, number 22. Good vision around the left side into Team BC territory. There is a flag on the play on the far sideline.
It's going to be interesting to see how special teams already is playing a little bit of part, kind of after exchanging a couple 2-and-outs and then 2 punts. Alberta seems to gain a little bit of field position. Obviously, we saw the big kick. The net yards wasn't quite so big, but with a big punter like that, that can make a difference over the course of the game, where BC's punt really high allowed the coverage team to get downfield. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out throughout the course of this game.
Penalty on the play. Penalty was declined, so Team Alberta now 1st and 10 inside Team BC territory at the BC 53-yard line. Alberta on the move now after that interception return for a touchdown. And Team Alberta looking to even this back up. Here's Daniel Niembo with a good second effort, and that's a big first down for Team Alberta. 12-yard pickup on the play. Good outside run by Niembo, number 22.
Well, and Alberta is really setting the tone early with their offense. Although they had their mishaps in the first series, they're coming back. They're trying to settle things down, use the run game to establish a platform to then open up that playbook on offense. And again, you always want to get a little bit of momentum, get the ball moving, a few first downs, which you've seen they've done. And so now they're going to probably go to a little bit of play action, mix in that run continually, because if that run continues to work, they need to establish that early. That will wear down a defense.
During this timeout, we want to make mention of the important sponsors of Football Canada: Volt Athletics, Rydell, Huddle, Shadowman Sports, Ambrotech, Avis, Invictus Gloves, Quest Awards, Big Chief Meat Snacks, Choice Hotels, First Down Playbook, Opro Mouthguards, and Game Breaker Soft Shell Headgear. We want to thank you for being a part of the Football Canada team and helping to bring events like the U16 Western Challenge to our communities. Back to live action. Luke Nolan, number 1 now. Inside handoff right up the gut. Right to the fullback. That's number 35. Duncan Critch out of Ardmore, Alberta. And he's I'll tell you, he is a big, stout kid. He does a lot of blocking, but when you get the ball in his hands, he's going to move people backward.
Yeah, good solid running back to set blocks up and then get the yards when you need the yards. I'm sure they'll be using him in short yardage, but again, mixing it up, getting to the outside twice in a row, and then going back to the inside.
2nd and 7 now, Team Alberta from the Team BC 38-yard line. Nolan takes the snap, pass caught and complete down at the 30-yard line, complete to number 15, Cale Brownell of Gibbons, Alberta. And that pass is complete, and that is a Team Alberta first down at the Team BC 31-yard line.
You know, nothing too fancy, just a quarterback relying on his receiver to win his route, get to the sticks, and he did just that to get the first down for Team Alberta.
Team Alberta on the move. Number 51, Aiden Domino, in on that last tackle. 1st and 10 from the Team BC 31-yard line. Team BC up 7-0 for just over 4 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. Team Alberta in white, Team BC in the familiar orange and black, and looks like we're going to have a time count violation against Team Alberta. Luke Nolan unable to get the play underway in the allotted time, so that'll move things back 5 yards. It'll be 1st and 15, Team Alberta from the Team BC 36-yard line. If you're just joining us, Team BC scored on an interception return for a touchdown by their defensive tackle, or pardon me, their linebacker, Jamil Youssef, number 34, and that's where we sit right now. 7-0, Team BC, Team Alberta on the move from the 36. Here's Nolan, drops back, across the middle, caught right at the 25-yard line. Call it about a 9-yard pickup, pass complete to number 15, Cale Brownell. And once again, Rob, really simple football there. Sit down in underneath the coverage, wait for the football, make the play.
Yeah, and you don't have to get all the yards back after a penalty like that. So they did a good job of cutting it down, and so now they're 2nd and 5, which is very manageable for an offense. It still gives you a lot of selection, a lot of play, a wide play selection in converting the 2nd and 5.
2nd and 5, Team Alberta. Luke Nolan at quarterback, number 1. Right at the Team BC 25. He's going to pitch it out left to Niembo. Niembo, first down yardage. Now he's got the corner. Can he get to the 5? He's taken down at about the 7-yard line on the far side of the field. Good running by Niembo. He's taken down on the play by number 2, Nathan Boscheman.
We talked about the value of getting to the edge in the first game, and you can see he got the edge, and not only did he get there and get first down yardage, the receivers did a great job moving their feet, blocking downfield, and that gave him the extra 9 or 10 to get close to the end zone. 1st
and goal to go, Team Alberta from the 8-yard line. Here's Nolan, under center, drops back, hands off to Niembo, straight up the middle. Pickup of about 3, taken down right at the 5-yard line. 2:50 to go in the opening quarter. Team Alberta with a nice drive here. Late in this opening quarter, Team BC up 7-0. Team Alberta 2nd and goal to go from the 5.
And you can see Alberta relying on the run game early to set it up, which I think is great strategy, great idea to get their offense on the move.
Here's Nolan now, rolls left, fires, and it's incomplete. Team BC player thought he had the interception. That was a close one. That's number 4, Noah Gross. Watch Nolan roll to the left, throws, and it's, ooh, was that close? Number 4, Noah Gross nearly had an interception in the end zone, and Team Alberta would have come up empty-handed here on this long drive, but here they are, 3rd and goal to go. And Team Alberta, big play in the football game here nice and early. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter, and they're going for it on 3rd and goal. Darcy Park going for it, caught, and touchdown! Luke Nolan to number 15, Cale Brownell, and that's a Team Alberta touchdown. Walk us through this one, Rob.
And you can see we've got great protection, lots of time, and it's simple football. You're relying on your receivers to win a route. And again, when you talk about the Canadian game, which we're obviously familiar with here, you've got a deep end zone, so DBs can't come up tight on the receiver. In that case, he had to give him the respect of going past him deep into the end zone, and then it came down to timing. Obviously, the quarterback has some comfort level throwing to the slot backs, and then the receiver did a great job getting his hands on the ball, securing it in the end zone.
Luke Nolan now, the quarterback, to attempt the point after, and it is good, and the score. Tie ball game here in the first quarter of Game 2 of the Football Canada U16 Western Challenge. That touchdown by Brownell. And the score, 7-7, Team Alberta, Team BC. 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter here on footballcanada.tv. So glad you're along with us, no matter where you might be joining us on the internet through this special webcast. Footballcanada.tv, Kevin Donnan bringing you the game action with my analyst, Rob Herod. And it's a beautiful, absolutely majestic evening. The first game at 4 o'clock, a little cloudy, a little overcast, kind of the sun was playing a little bit of hide and seek. But I'll tell you, now, you know, here we are right around 8 o'clock, and it is absolutely gorgeous. There isn't a hint of wind out there, even at field level. So these players are now feeling the heat, but it is just an absolutely glorious evening here on the South Campus of the University of Alberta here in Edmonton. So glad you're along with us, and also so happy to see the contingents of fans and supporters, families, friends from all 4 of the provinces supporting their players. Here's the kickoff fielded at the 15 now. Team BC looking for a hole. That's taken up, about a 17-yard return up to the 32.
It looks
that was
like
number 1, Trammell. Sorry, Rob, that was number 1, Trammell States-Jones, the 5'10" receiver out of Lloyd Tweedsmuir in North Delta. Nice little return for 17 yards, and now Team BC will start 1st and 10 from their own 32. Here we go now. Number 13, back to live action. Hunter Bowles, under center. Inside handoff. Be a minimal gain. Maybe half a yard there for the ball carrier.
And again, BC's responding, trying to establish that run game. Obviously, Alberta did it, getting to the edge, got some yards to the edge. BC's trying to come right into the heart of the defense. So we'll see how long they stick with that. Do they try to get it to the edge? Because it looks like they've got some speedy, quick running backs as well. We'll see what they do to try to convert this 2nd and long.
1 yard gain on the play, 2nd and 9, Team BC. From their own 34-yard line. Tie ball game, 7-all. Team BC, Team Alberta. There's the wide throw, and nice defense by number 17. The defensive back, Brady Hoyt of Edmonton, timing it perfectly. He arrived just as the ball did. Bowles rolling right, throwing across his body, intended for number 84, Brandon Wong. Pass ball is incomplete, but textbook defense by Brady Hoyt.
Well, and he did a great job. Not only did he try to get his hands on the ball, but he also took out the receiver's body. So if it was a completed completed pass, it wasn't too big of a risk. And so you see that he had a quick jump on the out. We'll see if he gets one tonight.
Isaiah Oliveros back deep for Team Alberta to receive this punt. He'll field it at his 45, and he will take it just inside Team BC territory to the BC 53-yard line. There is a flag just in front of the Team Alberta bench. And it looks, I'm going to say horse collar tackle against Team BC. So Team Alberta looks like they are going to get excellent field position. And it is an unnecessary roughness call, horse collar tackle against Team BC.
Yeah, and really an unnecessary penalty. The guy was wrapped up and going down, and the next guy came in. The only thing he could get was the top of his jersey, and so he just added 15 yards to what was already going to be good field position for Team Alberta.
And Team Alberta gets outstanding field position as they will start 1st and 10 from the BC 39-yard line. BC with all the momentum early. Here's the little hitch screen out to the side. Good turn by the Team Alberta receiver. That's number 10, Alec Iomanor. He's got positive yardage. Let's call it a 7-yard completion, 2nd and 3, Team Alberta.
And interesting watching them run that screen to the wide receiver. You can run that different ways, of course, but what's one thing I noticed is the throw was a backwards throw.
So did he have the option?
Right, and so I think we will probably see that throughout the night, or it's definitely a possibility where he catches it and then finds someone downfield as well.
Here we go now. Niembo straight up the middle, number 22. Good tackle by the linebacker. That's number 53, Taj Judy. Big defensive lineman, 6'4", 177, out of Sequam in Delta, BC.
Containing the run game is going to be important to BC. If you can ever, as a defense, force a team to resort to one type of attack, then you're going to be ahead as a defense. And so, again, focus on one piece. See if you can slow down the run game, which they had a struggle on the first drive. And now you see they've obviously adjusted, made some plays inside. So we'll have to watch the offense and defensive line and how they play that, and if the linebackers are able to get their hands on the running backs.
And that was the final play of the opening quarter. Your score, Team BC 7, Team Alberta 7. Team BC scoring on an interception return, one of those, every time a defensive lineman puts his head on the pillow every night, he dreams about the opportunity, or even a linebacker like Yusuf gets the opportunity with the football right in his belly, makes no mistake. Team BC up early within the first 90 seconds. They're up 7-0, but Team Alberta has now fought back to even this game at 7. Brownell with the touchdown catch, and here we are, second quarter, Team Alberta on the move here, following that 15-yard unnecessary roughness call on the punt return. So here's Team Alberta 1st and 10 at the Team BC 26-yard line. Far right hash mark, Luke Nolan, the Team Alberta quarterback, ready to get back to business as we start the second quarter 7-all. Here on footballcanada.tv, this is the second U16 Western Challenge, of course, last year. There's a lovely shot. That is just how beautiful things are right at this very, very moment. Check that great shot by our crew. There's the weather balloon up in, boy, we gave them a great commercial, guys. They'll never be able to buy that airtime. But what a great shot by our crew as they capture that balloon, just nicely, lazily make it right over top, actually. They've got the best view in the house, and they didn't have to pay for it. That's great seats.
I'm going to have to send them the bill.
That's the greatest sky suite of all time. There's the inside handoff back to the live action. Duncan Critch of Ardmore, that big rumbling fullback. He plows ahead for about 4 yards.
Once again, you have a good balanced attack. This time they faked the toss to the outside because they've had the success running to the outside and had a counterplay back into the fullback coming inside, got a few yards on it.
And Darcy Parks, the type of coach known for trying to balance things out, trying to mix things up, trying to see, between run and throw. And here's nice catch by, Nolan, good throw. Nearly had the catch. That's number 88, Ethan Henderson of Edmonton. Just couldn't corral that one, but Good throw by Nolan. Henderson nearly comes up with it. That'll bring up third down.
And you can see the receiver on the outside running the in or the hook, and again, it comes into his body.
About.
And a great defensive play to get your arms wrapped around. If he extends his hands, he may be able to secure that in the hands, not giving the DB a chance to wrap it up. But again, when you take it into the body, it takes more time to get there. The DB got it wrapped up, and the ball came out.
Textbook defense by the BC defender. And Luke Nolan will try. Looks like he's going to attempt a 29-yard field goal. There is a Team BC player shaken up on the play. But a beautiful shot and a beautiful scene here from Footfield on the south campus of the University of Alberta. University playing host to the U16 Western Challenge, which helps introduce players and coaches to tournament-style competition as they test their skills against neighboring provinces. These events help athletes develop as they work towards national programs brought to you by Football Canada, including the Under-18 National Tackle Football Championship, the Football Canada Cup, as well as national team competition. So let's have a good to see the Team BC player getting back up. Dylan Myers out of Carson Graham in Chilliwack, 6 foot, 215 pounds, shaken up on that last play as he makes his way to the sideline. Now, Luke Nolan will attempt the 29-yard field goal to give Team Alberta the lead here in the early moments of the second quarter, 7-all. Team Alberta, Team BC. Snap, hold, blocked. Low kick. It will be a dead ball, but now Team BC, that's Nathan Boscheman going to try and return this one, and he takes it out to the 5-yard line. So we remain square at 7 apiece. So big play on special teams by Team BC, although a low kick, but Team BC will take it here as they will start 1st and 10 from their own 6-yard line.
Yeah, it's going to be a long field, but we've seen a number of different things. We've seen Alberta's offense move, not coming away with points there, but they've definitely had success moving the ball. Team BC has struggled on offense, and again, their defense is the one that's made the play and got the 7 points. So a lot of pressures on the BC offense right now to see if they can get out of the shadows of their own goalposts.
Hunter Bowles at quarterback, number 13, long field. 1st and 10 from their own 6-yard line as Team BC will start on offense. And the Team BC receiver will not be brought down. Very, very close to the first down. It's number 88, looks like Logan Bookwitz.
That guy's a beast.
I hope I have that number right, but yeah, 6'3", 215. He is a hard man. He is a hard young man to bring to the ground, and that's a 9-yard completion. So let's call it 2nd and 1.
That size for a receiver is a beast in the CFL.
I was going to say.
Let alone in the U16s.
I just hope we got that number correct. It's tough between 83 and 88, but we will endeavor. Like I say, the design of the Team BC uniforms makes it difficult for us, especially for us old guys with the fading eyesight. And it is a time count violation against Team BC. So when you've got a long field like this, a penalty like that isn't going to help you too much. So Team BC now going to be 2nd and about, let's say 2nd and 6, a long 6. And they need to get out to their 16-yard line to convert this first down. 9:52 to go in the second quarter. Bowles at quarterback, number 13 for Team BC. Out of the shotgun, looking, and he is buried underneath a wall of Team Alberta defenders. Number 45, Maxwell von Muhldorfer of Calgary. He got there first, along number 43, Sheldon Tan of Calgary, also in on the tackle. So a big sack by Team Alberta, and now Team Alberta is going to get great field position.
When you go back to the first down, getting 9 yards, and then they took the time count, which instead of 2nd and 1, which gives you just about every play you can run, to 2nd and 6. He didn't have enough time to get the ball out of his hands, and now he's likely going to have to take up a safety here.
And he does just that. Good call, Coach. So Liam Atwood, number 15 of Team BC, takes a knee for a 2-point safety. And Team Alberta now leads this football game 9-7. So the Team BC gets pinned after the penalty and the big defensive play by Team Alberta. They give up the 2 points. And now Team Alberta will start on offense. So Team Alberta slowly taking that momentum away right now. Team BC needs a big play on defense.
Well, and you see already, and again, at 9:22 left in the second quarter, I wouldn't have thought that the defenses are actually outscoring the offenses in this game. And so that's the case as it stands right now. I'm sure it won't be like that at the end. But Alberta's got an opportunity to respond here, taking 2 and also getting the ball now.
Team Alberta will start 1st and 10 on their own 35-yard line. Luke Nolan still a quarterback, remains a quarterback for Team Alberta, of course, in this all-star format. That's number 24, Daniel Niembo, the Harry Ainley Titan from Edmonton with the positive yardage. First down yardage all the way out to the 46-yard line. So Team Alberta with the big first down, and they will continue 1st and 10 from their own 46-yard line.
Daniel doing a good job following his blocks. He's patient. His eyes are upfield, and then he's getting his speed going vertical, which you want your running backs to do. It doesn't have to be a touchdown. It needs to be a first down.
Nolan now. Handoff again to Niembo, but he is taken down right at the line of scrimmage. Good pursuit by number 55, Sterling May, in on with the tackle there. Loss of a yard, bring up 2nd and 11.
Again, the defensive linemen being impact players on the field, and that's what you see. Eyes on the ball. If you can follow the ball as a defensive lineman while continuing to move, it's going to give you more opportunity to make plays. He did that textbook there and had his hands on the running back before he could even hit the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 11, Team Alberta. Nolan out of the shotgun. 4 receivers set. Nolan now across the middle and nearly picked off. Number 11, Deacon Young of Vancouver. Both hands on the football, couldn't come up with the interception, but a big stop for Team BC, and now Team BC can get back on offense.
And you're going to talk to your quarterback about that throw again. It was a little bit high, which is probably the lesser of the two evils at this point in time. But what he needs to do is he needs to throw the ball earlier. The receiver was wide open, had quite a bit of space around him. But because he just took that little bit of extra time to deliver that ball, there was enough guys that came around and almost got their interception.
Jacob King of St. Albert, number 7 for Team Alberta, going to kick this one away. And it is fielded by Boscheman at his own 30. 50, midfield 55 into Team Alberta territory. Nice return, 28 yards for Nathan Boscheman. So big play on special teams for Team BC, and that's got to give Hunter Bowles and the offense a bit of a lift when you can start inside the opposing territory right at the 54.
When you talk about the impact of special teams on a game, and right there it was a net gain of about 5 or 6 yards, and so BC's in great position here to start their drive.
Team BC now 1st and 10, 7:10 to go in the second quarter. Alberta up 9-7. Took the lead on a 2-point safety. Pass intended for number 1, Trammell States-Jones. Pass falls incomplete. There is a flag on the far sideline right in front of the Team Alberta bench. We'll get the signal from our referee. Offside the call against Team Alberta. It'll be 1st and 5 with the application of the penalty. And we'll move the ball up to the Team Alberta 49-yard line where Team BC will be 1st and 5.
Yeah, good opportunity for BC to kind of open up their playbook, use whatever they want, and here on a 1st and short, lots of opportunities available to them now with that penalty.
Bowles out of the shotgun, 3 receivers right side. Bowles now looks left, looks over the middle, but no receivers, and he tries the keeper, but swallowed up by the Team Alberta defensive line. Number 42, Joel DeMail of Red Deer, and number 45, Max von Muhldorfer of Calgary, that defensive tackle who's been making a lot of noise out there. Injured BC player on the field. Looks like trying to get a number, missed the opportunity to get that number, but there is a Team BC player shaken up. As we mentioned earlier this afternoon, Team Manitoba taking on Team Saskatchewan in Game 1, and it was Team Manitoba with some big plays, big turnovers on defense, and they rode that defense in the second half by winning 20-10. Looks like number 13, Hunter Bowles, the quarterback, is shaken up on that play. So as we mentioned earlier this evening, in Game 1, Team Manitoba won 20-10 over Team Saskatchewan. So Team Manitoba is in the gold medal game. That goes Saturday at 2 p.m. right here on footballcanada.tv. This is, of course, the other semifinal. And here we take we've got a good shot of the Team BC huddle during this injury timeout.
And you can see number 10, Cowley, is going to be coming in at quarterback, 6'4", 165 from Terry Fox School in Maple Ridge.
Good hand for number 13, Hunter Bowles, shaken up on that play. So, yes, number 10, Cale Cowley, will now come in at quarterback for Team BC. It's a very similar situation to what we saw earlier, where in the second quarter, Zach Zakic, the quarterback for Team Saskatchewan, was shaken up in the second quarter. He was able to come back, and we certainly hope Hunter Bowles can get back into this football game this evening. So he's shaken up. I'll take a look at him on the BC bench. But in the meantime, Cale Cowley in a quarterback now for Team BC. 2nd and 5. Inside handoff. And taken down right at the yard marker. So no gain on the play. It'll be 3rd and 5, Team BC. And they will now play the field position game and try and pin Team Alberta deep in their end.
Well, and with dangerous returners on both sides of the ball, you're going to want to try to angle this ball to the sideline. We'll see if the punter can do that and limit to no gain on this punt, because with a lot of field space, we saw earlier, a nice punt creates a lot of space out there.
Number 28, Max Fyodorov of Calgary, back deep for Team Alberta. To field the punt from Liam Atwood, and there is a flag on the play. Contact made with the kicker. Good downfield coverage by Team BC. But I think this one, looks like it could be either once again, a contacting the kicker or a roughing the kicker. We'll see which one this will be.
Looks like they're going up 10 yards. It's going to be first down.
It'll be first down, BC, following that penalty. So another big momentum swing here on a penalty that really is a big one here in this second quarter if you're Team BC and wanting to get the momentum back.
Well, when you talk about possessions, you've just taken one possession away from Alberta, and BC is getting another opportunity here. And so we talk about possessions in a game, and in the course of a half of football, we're nearing the 5-minute mark left in the second quarter, and BC has just got a free possession here.
5:35 to go in the second quarter. Cowley at quarterback now, 1st and 10 BC, following that contact in the kicker penalty. And that will be a time count violation against Cowley. And when you're a fresh quarterback coming in, or you're coming in cold like that, these things will happen, Rob.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a different formation. You saw 3 running backs in the backfield, a couple tight ends, and only 1 receiver. But again, they're trying to get some rhythm, and every time they get a break, they kind of give a little bit back. So BC, if they want to get on the scoreboard here with their offense, they're going to have to execute a little bit better than that.
1st and 15 now for Team BC. There's the handoff straight up the middle. Gain of maybe 3 on the play. Tackle made by number 55, Jack Dutton of Pritis.
And there's different ways to get plays in. You can see here they're running players in. And so that takes time off it. So it takes a little bit more time to get the play in, and that could be one of the causes of the time count, which cost BC in that before that first down play. So we'll see if they can get that play called, get the guy in a little bit quicker to save. They're already down to 6 seconds here to get this playoff, so they're going to have to keep going and move quickly.
2nd and 13 BC, time clock and the loose football. Here's Cowley now with the broken play, and it is picked off by Team Alberta. Nice play by the defensive back. That's number 5, Rylan Feist of Lloydminster. It was a broken play, and Feist just steps in front of the receiver, number 88, Logan Buckwitz. And Team Alberta has a turnover here, so that possession they lost, they've now gotten back off the turnover.
Well, and a tough decision by the young quarterback. But again, the play didn't look good from the beginning. They already took a time count, which put them in a tough situation. The play took time to get in, and they were down to the last few seconds. A little bit of a fumble. Nothing went well on that play.
Alberta 1st and 10 from their own 42. That's number 22. Martin Cialo of Calgary, straight up the middle for about 3. 2nd and 7. Team Alberta from their own 45-yard line. 4 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Bit of a defensive battle here, Rob. We kind of expected Alberta to come out with some fireworks and to throw the ball, mix it up, but Team BC has had a very stout defense in this first half.
They have, and you get excited when you're ranked number 4 going against a top-ranked team, and you have something to prove where those rankings, it's tough. We talked about it in between the games. It's really tough to get good rankings because these teams haven't played anybody yet.
Pass was tipped at the line of scrimmage, and number 15, Cale Brownell, comes up with the football. Really good concentration by the Alberta receiver, number 11, Deacon Young, in on the coverage. But the ball is tipped right. I wonder if we can get this right at the line. Changes the path of the football just ever so slightly, but Brownell with good concentration, and it's a first down right at the midfield stripe.
And that's what you like to see, is good, strong hands of your receiver. And again, you could see them kind of wrestling for the ball after he was down, but it's really important. It's something that kind of gets unnoticed sometimes. You need to have strong heads. You need to hold on to that ball because there's lots of guys flying around ripping at it every time.
1st and 10, Team Alberta from midfield. There's Cialu, number 22. Nice gain. Good open field tackle by number 3, Tariq Brown, out of Kelowna Senior Secondary School.
And you see that little cut inside. He was on his way to the outside. They were going to get contained, but he is so fast to make that read and then tell his body to do something different. He changed directions, as we say, on a dime, and he made the most of that with a great run on first down.
Cialu with the 7-yard pickup, 2nd and 3, Team Alberta from the BC 47-yard line. That is the official blowing in the 3-minute warning. And Luke Nolan at quarterback now. 2nd and short from the 47. Inside handoff to the fullback. And that's big number 35, Duncan Critch. He twists and turns his way to the 45-yard line. That's going to be very close to a first down. And referee will call in for the measurement. So let's do a little business while we've got the opportunity. Football Canada national sponsors, want to thank them once again for being part of the Football Canada team. Rydell, Volt Athletics, Huddle, Invictus Gloves, Ambrotech, Shadowman Sports, Avis, Big Chief Meat Snacks. First Down Playbook, Quest Awards, Invictus Gloves, Choice Hotels, First Down Playbook, O-Pro Mouth Guards, and Game Breaker Soft Shell Headgear. Thank you to all of those sponsors and the many sponsors who help make football happen in our country. And we certainly appreciate Football Canada's commitment to player development and coaching development through events like the U16 Western Challenge. And this 2018 edition has been an exciting one. Here's a big play in the football game. 3rd and very short. Team Alberta looking to continue this drive in the late stages of the first half. Timeout call by Team Alberta. Darcy Park wants to take some time with this decision. It is 3rd and about the length of the football, Rob. Right now, Team Alberta, if they can convert this first down, they can go into the locker room, maybe get some points and get some momentum.
Yeah, and they want to keep that. They've kind of neutralized it. BC, they've gone back and forth in the last part of this quarter here. So, again, if Alberta can get a little momentum, extend their lead beyond 2 points before the end of the half, that would be good for them. And I think the timeout for Darcy, again, he's got the timeouts in this half. Use them when you need them. And I think it's important. You want everybody in line properly. It's not a down. You want to have a mishap or a misstep and some guy offside, some guy in the wrong position. So, again, important that everyone knows what they're doing. Good choice by Darcy to use the timeout. Just make sure they get it right.
Here we go. 3rd and short. Nolan now. Hands off. Inside handoff. Plenty of yardage for number 27, Spencer Stanko of Lethbridge, as he converts the first down for Team Alberta. And they will continue this drive from the Team BC 40-yard line. 1st and 10 Alberta. Team Alberta on the move here with 2:31 to go in the first half. Want to thank all of our viewers for joining us from Manitoba to BC and all points in between this U16 Western Challenge. Thank you for supporting minor football through Football Canada and through this Western Challenge. So glad you're along with us. There's the pitch. Right side to Sialu, number 22. Cuts back. Now to the outside. Nice running by Sialu, number 22. He took that pitch about 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage, Rob.
Yeah, he had to get quite far out to the outside. You can see he cut back inside his receiver, makes a guy miss there, and it's the second or third guy that actually took him down. So great bit of running there by the running back to get a real positive play on what could have been something in the tackle in the backfield.
Absolutely. 6-yard pickup by Sialu, 2nd and 4 from the 38-yard line. Here's Nolan at quarterback out of the shotgun. There's the quick slant pass, complete to number 11, Drew Forster of Forestburg. And that'll be enough for a first down. So Team Alberta continuing this drive with 1:44 to go in the opening half.
You know, great focus by the receiver to get his hands on the ball. And you didn't see it on camera, but he was in a rush to get out to the line of scrimmage. He basically got set, checked with the ref, the ball was snapped, and then the ball was on his way in the air. So good focus for a young receiver to be able to do that, get set, and make a play. And then, of course, secure the pass and hold on to the ball for the first down for Team Alberta.
Team Alberta continues this drive at the Team BC 26-yard line. Nolan under center. And the flags fly, and it looks like that's about our 4th time count violation of the half.
Yeah, the quarterbacks are just having a hard time just keep picking up that speed. And again, that's part of what happens when you don't have like they haven't had this is the first live game, right? And so you don't have that real feel, and you try to simulate that in practice as much as you can. But again, ultimately you got to get into a game to get used to that. You got to get used to the speed. And for these kids, who a lot of them haven't played for a number of months, are getting an opportunity now to get real game action. I also noticed on the sideline at the last time out, Xavier Cole from BC was getting looked at by the training staff, and I see now just down in front of us, he's got his shoulder pads off. And so hopefully it's not too serious. I don't know if that's a sign that he won't be back to see us, but again, a great running back will miss for the rest of this game if he's not able to go.
Yeah, the disappointment is pretty much written all over his face. You can see that. It's really difficult for a player like Xavier Cole. And here's Nolan now, and there's a big hit. Nathan Boscheman on the fullback. The fullback fully exposed trying to catch the football, and boy, that's a tough catch. You're an old, you're not old, but you're a veteran receiver, and when you don't feel it, you got your arms up like that, boy, you can feel every rib you've got.
Yeah, you're not really focusing on the hit. You're focusing on the ball, and then you feel the hit in a hurry. So, again, strong hands who would have held on to that really for no gain, but great play by Boscheman to come downhill, secure the tackle, and knock the ball out. Very fortunate for Alberta because that ball just kind of went straight up in the air, did not go to the ground. So if another guy was there, it could have been going the other way.
2nd and long from the 36. And now Nolan rolls right in again. Same play, same 2 players, Boscheman and number 35, Duncan Critch. And Duncan Critch is asking for another play in the playbook. Come on, Darcy. Don't call my number again.
That's the other side of his rib cage. He just got knocked in, and Boscheman's coming downhill. He's seen it once. He's seen it twice. Made a great play on both of those plays. Great tackle to limit the gain to none or an incomplete pass.
That's where 2 players are both saying, I can't believe this is happening again. Both good and bad. So Here's Team Alberta. They will punt the ball away. Here's number 7, Jacob King of St. Albert, but there is a timeout called. Team BC going to call a timeout here. They need to talk things through as Team Alberta is going to try and pin them deep or get a single out of it and take a 3-point lead. But Darcy Park has his group over, and they're going to talk over what to do with this important special teams play.
And on the last 2 plays, you don't want to overlook the play of the defensive line. Actually, it may have been a linebacker coming in off the edge to make sure the quarterback cannot roll out. Because, again, that play is often designed to get the fullback further into the flat. And both those times, he turns the corner. There's a guy in his face.
He's under duress.
And now he's got to stop his feet, and he's got to make a pass that's a lot harder to make. And both times, fullback had to stop his feet, and that resulted in the defense being able to come up and make a big play.
Of course, we talked about this is the second Western Challenge. Of course, last year it was held in Lethbridge. Team Alberta is the defending champion. Next year, this event will shift to Kamloops. The 2019 U16 Western Challenge will move to Kamloops, the beautiful city of Kamloops. So Edmonton has hosted it, of course, here in 2018 at Footfield in Edmonton, and it'll move to Kamloops next year. So Kamloops is a great football community and some great football organizations out in BC who will put on a great show. There's the punt field, and now to the wide side of the field. That's Boscheman, great speed now, cuts back into the 20, taken down at the 25. There is a flag on the play at the 5-yard line, and it looks like a no yards penalty, Rob.
Hey, do you think there's any chance you're going to take us to Kamloops next year to do this?
Well, sure, why not? I mean, especially at this time of year, who wouldn't want to be in Kamloops?
But
we've got some great weather here, too.
What a nice road trip that would be next year. Maybe we'll throw in our plug right now for Football Canada.
We will put in we'll put on our application right now. Here on footballcanada.tv, we're mobile. We can go. We can get out to Kamloops, no problem. We'll take the whole crew with us. At the 29-yard line, Team BC, 56 seconds to go in the half, down 2. Alberta up 9-7 following the safety that Team BC gave up. Here's that hitch screen now, number 1, Trammell States-Jones nearly broke it out into the open. Good tackle by number 32 of Team Alberta. That's Michael Peloso of Okotoks. Good open field tackle, or Trammell States-Jones had a lot of real estate in front of him. 2nd and 4, Team BC.
Yeah, and BC trying to just get some momentum. You know, again, ideally, they could go down, get some points out of this. But, again, just getting some momentum for their offense to give them a little confidence. They've had a hard time moving the ball. This would be a good little booster if they could get a couple first downs here before the half.
And here we go, Cowley at quarterback. Nice run by Team BC. That's a first down for number 7, Dimitri Patterson, who's now moved into the running back spot with Xavier Cole, who was injured. Sorry, Rob, but with Xavier Cole injured, the running back core is getting a little bit thin on the Team BC sideline.
And now you're seeing a hurry-up offense to see if they can actually get points on the board.
Here's Cowley now. Quick pitch out to the right side, and big hit here on the near sideline. It's number 25, Brian Galindo of Calgary, bringing the wood to States-Jones. Watch this hit, Rob. That is, you're going to feel in about 20 years, he's going to feel that one. He's going to get up out of bed one morning, and he's going to remember that play. But pretty good toughness by the Team BC player there, and good pursuit by the Team Alberta defense. 2nd and 11 with just 13 seconds to go.
Yeah, a couple mistakes have caused Alberta the 7 points, so hopefully their defense is getting the confidence, realizing, hey, let's get a stop here before the half. Let's not let BC's offense feel like they can move the ball on us, and let's go regroup, look at what we've done in the first half and build on that for the second.
And if you're Team BC, you've got to be feeling pretty good. You are the 4th seed coming into this tournament. I mean, these seedings in a short tournament and in a tournament with only 4 teams, these seedings are somewhat dubious, if you will. But they are seedings for a reason, and Team BC has come in here with an eye of really shutting down Team Alberta in terms of that explosive offense on Team Alberta, and so far Team BC has done it. Here's Cowley out of the shotgun, back to the live action, 13 seconds to go. Here's Cowley, gonna go up top to States Jones, number 1, and he's got the football. Taken down right at the 20-yard line, 5 seconds to go. What a battle for the football with number 25, Brian Galindo. Watch this battle for the football, Rob.
It looked like one of those simultaneous catches, and again, just ripping it out. We talked about strong hands, and now BC's working to get their last play in.
5 seconds to go now. Wait for the play to be blown in. Liam Atwood, number 15, Team BC, going to try and take the lead here. Liam Atwood near hash mark. Get the snap away. Snap's good. Holds good. And the kick is good. There is a flag on the play, though. So Liam Atwood connects from about 27 yards out. We'll get the call here. No time on the clock. And the kick is up and good. So Team BC heads into the locker room with a 1-point lead, 10-9, on that 27-yard field goal by Liam Atwood with no time remaining in the half. And Team BC leads this football game, this second half of the doubleheader tonight here at the U16 Western Challenge. Team BC leads 10-9 here at the half. We'll be back in 10 minutes' time here on footballcanada.tv for second half action. Don't move a muscle, stay right where you are, and we'll have second half football action here at the 2018 U16 Western Challenge. Stay right with us. Welcome back to Footfield and Game 2 of the 2018 U16 Football Canada Western Challenge here at beautiful Footfield on the South Campus of the University of Alberta here in Edmonton, Alberta. Want to wish a good evening to football fans joining us for second half action here in Game 2 of the Western Challenge. Team BC taking on Team Alberta, and in a bit of a surprise, Team BC leads this football game 10-9 going into this second half. And Rob Harrod, who's with us this evening, what did Team BC do to take the lead in a bit of a surprise? We weren't expecting two things. We weren't expecting a low-scoring game, and we really weren't expecting Team BC to have this kind of defensive performance in the first half.
Well, I think a couple things happened early in the game, and I think obviously the turnover for a touchdown kind of gave them hope early. And because you come into a hostile environment, there's lots of fans from BC, but there's definitely more from Alberta here for this game. And again, you want to kind of weather the storm early, and that happened immediately on that turnover touchdown there for BC. So I think that really helped them get started. And, you know, it has taken time for them to even get going, and I wouldn't say the offense has really found their rhythm yet. The last drive was nice. They did a good job of executing in a very short order to get some points and actually take the lead going into the half. So I think that was a positive, but their defense has got to continue to play well. I think giving the offense time and just to find the rhythm again, start to move the ball again. We've seen a change of quarterback at BC, and I think that's given them a little bit of a spark, especially seeing that last little quick drive they put together to get points on the board. So BC's defense is going to have to continue to play well and kind of contain Alberta's offense. We saw them move the ball, and looking at some of the stats, you can see Alberta has 161 net yards, and that's to BC's 75. So heavily favors Alberta, but again, the scoreboard doesn't show that, and so their defense has made kind of the big play of the game. That's really kept the BC in it and kept them the lead. And then looking at even the rushing passing yards is a little bit surprising as well. In a game like this with so much talent, so many guys to deliver the ball to, really Alberta's relied on the running game for 109 yards, and BC's only had 21 yards, and then the passing game is only 52 and 54 yards for each of the teams. So really balancing each other out. Again, BC capitalized on their one big pass down the sideline and converted that into a field goal.
Well, and I'll tell you, it has been very fundamental football, sort of 3 yards in a cloud of dust and a defensive struggle. So what is, now looking at Team Alberta, coming into this game, a heavy favorite, what does Darcy Park have to do to get into that gold medal game on Saturday afternoon?
Well, I think just settling the guys down at halftime and saying, you know what, there's no need to panic. We got to win the second half. And again, that's going to be the approach of them coming out of the locker room. Just do the things right that we know we can do. Don't beat ourselves. And I think they've kind of done that. You know, I mean, the first touchdown for BC was a bad break. I don't know how you fix that. It's just a really bad situation that you got caught in. But I think if they just settle down, if they do what they can do, I think their offense is going to churn out some yards again in the second half, and I think they're going to get some more points.
And an important note is that number 13, Hunter Bowles, the quarterback for Team BC, he's got his helmet back on. He was shaken up midway through that second quarter. Tremel States-Jones, the wide receiver over here on the sideline, having a chat with his quarterback and checking with him, making sure that he's okay. Cale Cowley will see some action as well behind center for Team BC. So Team Alberta now Darcy Park having a bit of a longer conversation than we thought with his team at the half. They're down by a single point. Of course, BC got on the scoreboard with that interception return for a touchdown by number 34, Jamil Youssef. Team Alberta struck back with a touchdown pass from Luke Nolan to Cale Brownell. That tied things up at 7. Team Alberta took a 2-point safety after pinning Team BC deep in their own end. And Team BC, with no time left on the clock, kicked that 27-yard field goal. And that's where we have it, 10-9, in a low-scoring but highly entertaining football game, Rob.
Yeah, well, I think both coaches are good. They probably want to open their playbook up and spread this out a little bit more. That's always the temptation. But, again, I think they're both going to be conservative coming out here. We'll see shots go deep, as we saw in the first half of the football game. But I think now that they've settled down, they've got a half of football out of the way. Now they can get down to business, and we're really going to sort out which team is going to deserve to go to the finals on Saturday.
Kevin Donnan and Rob Harrod with you on footballcanada.tv. So glad you're along with us here at the 2018 U16 Western Challenge. The top football players from the western provinces battling it out in a 4-team, 4-game mini tournament. Of course, the winner of this game tonight goes into Saturday's gold medal game. That game takes place at 2 p.m. right here at Footfield. The bronze medal game, Team Saskatchewan is already in that game after dropping their game against Team Manitoba 20-10. They will play the loser of this game on Saturday morning at 11 a.m. in the bronze medal game. Team Saskatchewan coming up just short in, a 10-point difference in the football game, but Team Saskatchewan making a late comeback and certainly made things interesting. So we're in for some great football here in this second half and the medal games that will follow. And we are underway in this second half. Liam Atwood with the short kick, fielded at the 31, and a good return by the big guy. That's number 55 of Team Alberta, Jack Dutton of Pritis, the linebacker. He fields that kickoff at his own 31, but it's going to come back on a holding penalty. So number 55, Dutton, gets the rare return for a linebacker, and it's brought back on the hold. So it'll be brought all the way back into Team Alberta territory. They had that ball spotted at about the Team BC 51. That penalty will take away that positive yardage, and Team Alberta will start their first offensive series from their own 35-yard line. So glad you're along with us here. 1st and 10, Team Alberta.
We've got another BC player down. Can't catch the number. He's turned sideways, but again, another injury. And again, one of the things about this mini tournament that we talked about, and one of the goals of Football Canada is to allow these guys to experience a short turnaround in games. And I think that's going to be a big piece of, okay, whoever makes it out of this game, which is turning out to be quite a little bit of a slugfest here, who makes it out, who's going to be ready to play on Saturday.
Big defensive player for Team BC, Nathan Boscheman, holding that right arm, and boy, he's an important part of the Team BC defense, and that play is blown dead. Illegal procedure, the call against the Team Alberta offense, but certainly head coach Trent Schmullen needs Nathan Boscheman back in this football game, Rob.
No doubt, he's probably been the best player on the team. Really, he's been making plays all over the field. He's obviously a contributor on special teams as well. They're going to want to get him looked at and hopefully back into the lineup as quickly as he can.
1st and 15 now, Team Alberta. Back things up based on the 5-yard penalty to the 30-yard line. Luke Nolan, number 1, remains a quarterback for Alberta. They'll swing it out. Here's Cialo, number 22. Good pursuit by the BC defense. And Cialo is taken down at the 28-yard line, so a pickup of 3 on that little swing pass to number 22, Martin Cialo.
Well, and if I'm BC's defense, I'm thinking don't let number 22 beat me. He's the guy who's done the most damage. I think he had 74 yards running in the first, and so he's the guy. He's contributing both in the running game and the passing game, so they need to make sure they contain him. Let's find out if someone else on Alberta is ready to step up and make plays.
Cialo, the lone setback behind Luke Nolan. 3 receivers right side. Nolan now looks right, fires, across the middle, and it's caught. Complete to number 11, Drew Forster out of Forestburg. Good run after the catch, too, on that slant pattern across the middle. Here's Nolan looks, wasn't going any other way. There's the slant just out of the reach of the defender. That's number 30, Pedro Cabanas.
A very tight window he threw that ball into. You could see when he caught that ball, there was 5 orange jerseys around him waiting for the tackle, but great delivery on time, nice catch with the hands and making the play. I think he came up just short enough that Darcy's not willing to take a risk on this one.
Darcy Park, head coach of Team Alberta, elects to kick this football away. Number 7, Jacob King of St. Albert to kick this football. Returner for Team BC back at the Team BC 30. Big kick by King. And it's fielded on the bounce. That's number 84, Brandon Wong, out of the Citadel in Port Coquitlam. Check that, 32. That was Massimo Ryan, I believe. Rob, it was Massimo Ryan, number 32, out of Notre Dame in Burnaby. He returned that kick out to about the 30, looks like the 38-yard line, where Team BC will start 1st and 10. Training staff still looking at the right hand or right wrist of Nathan Boschman. Here's the handoff around the left side. Nothing doing. Big defense by Team Alberta. That's number 55, Jack Dutton, in on the tackle. Number 43, Sheldon Tan of Calgary, also in on that tackle.
Interesting to note that Cale Cowley's still in the game, operating the offense. We'll see if we see that play out for the rest of the game.
Hunter Bowles had his helmet on coming out of the locker room, but it is Cowley, number 10, still at quarterback. 2nd and 14 following that 4-yard loss. Cowley out of the shotgun. Looks right, throws, and it's a beautiful pass, beautiful catch, and a big first down for Team BC inside Team Alberta territory. Caleb Schlachter from KLO in Kelowna, and a beautiful catch.
Yeah, nice ball thrown up, and that's a great thing about running a little bit of a corner route. And it looks like you have one guy running to the corner, 2 guys underneath holding the defender. There's lots of space there, and the DB's in a trail position, so he doesn't have an opportunity to make a play on the ball. Great job coming back, making a play for BC. BC's on the move once again, continuing from the first half.
Big first down in Team Alberta territory at the Alberta 52-yard line. Crowley has trouble with the snap. Low throw, pass incomplete. Number 32, Michael Peloso of Okotoks with the defense for Team Alberta. That'll bring up 2nd and 10. Team BC from the Team Alberta. There's the trouble with the snap, and Crowley's just got to get rid of it. It's a low throw, and it's an incompletion. 2nd and 10, Team BC. So Team BC looking to maintain the momentum of that.
And Hunter Bowles is back in at quarterback here on 2nd down.
Bowles back at quarterback, number 13. Glad to see him back in the lineup. He calls his own number and can't escape the tackle. That's number 42, Joel DeMail of Red Deer, taking Bowles down at the 50-yard line. That'll bring up a 3rd and a long 8 for Team BC. BC will elect to kick this ball away, but it's good to see Bowles back on the field after being shaken up in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, and it's good for BC's coaching staff to know that they've got 2 quarterbacks they can rely on. You see the quarterbacks coming to the sideline, talking about what they're seeing, talking about what's going on out there. But they've obviously got one who can run, and then they've got another one who's executed the offense fairly well tonight.
Isaiah Oliveros is back deep for Team Alberta. He fields the punt at the 20, 25, 30, and he's taken down right at the 30-yard line by number 20 of BC.
So another opportunity for Alberta here to get their offense going, to gain back some of the momentum. I would say it still favors BC. You know, they had a chance to move the ball. They moved the ball a little bit, got some field position. Now Alberta's got to respond, and their offense has got to get moving.
Team Alberta 1st and 10 from the 30. 7:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. Alberta down by 1, 10-9. And here's the handoff to Cialo. He's got first down yardage and more, and he could go at the midfield stripe. 50, 45, taken down at the 40. There is a flag on the play in the Team Alberta backfield, but that is a big gain by Martin Cialo, and a nifty bit of running here, Rob.
Yeah, great run, great blocking up front. I think there was probably an illegal block or a hold in the mix there, and so they're unfortunately be moving it back. It is holding on Alberta, and so again, all for naught, although great running. And again, BC's got to contain that if they're going to stay in this ball game.
7:07 to go in the 3rd quarter, and that's a killer. All-star game or not, Darcy Park just got another gray hair.
Yeah, no, he's not going to be happy with that. But again, you're going to have to just work through it, right? And I'm sure part of the message at halftime is focus on the next play. There are probably going to be some good ones. There are going to be some bad ones in the second half. They've got to focus on the next play, and that's what Alberta's got to do. I would say the pressure is still on Alberta. Ranked number 1, playing at home.
Home team, you bet.
You know what? They've got to just settle down, do what they do, and then everything else will take care of itself. So they've got to not shoot themselves in the foot like they did on that last play.
1st and 20, Team Alberta from their own 20. Swing it out to the far side. In space, that's number 10. Alec Ayamanar of Medicine Hat. He gets into space but is tripped up at about the 25-yard line.
Yeah, just watching him move, you can tell he's an athlete who can make things happen. And also I noticed that Nathan Boschman is back on the field for the defense, once again around the ball, ready to jump on it.
Nathan Boschman at that also important free safety spot. The quarterback of the defense, if you really want to say it. Boschman, of course, making several big plays and has been around the football all night. Let's call it 2nd and, let's say, 15, Team Alberta. They need to get to their own 40. Spot the ball at the 26, so 2nd and 14. Luke Nolan out of the shotgun. 4 receivers to the left side, and it is another time count violation.
And they're not getting a lot of love from the refs here. They're blowing it in fairly quickly, so these kids need to get used to that ball coming in quickly, in and out of the huddle. I actually had a chance at halftime to talk to the timer a little bit, and he's like, when he's blowing it earlier than they typically see with some of these young guys, but it's going to train them. They got to get in and out of the huddle, and they got to be able to execute before that clock runs down.
Timeout called here, and as you mentioned, the pace of the game, it is a little, you also have an all-star group of officials, and they're going to demand that you keep the pace of the game. And so, yeah, as you mentioned, it is this entire week, this 6 days, this, it's all about player development, skill development, coaching development, and even, adjusting to a different pace. So we've had 4 or 5 time count violations in this game, and as you say, the players need to adapt. And look at even as you see the substitutions moving off quickly, and the game clock is on the move. Here's Nolan now on the move. Rolls left, now rolls back right. Has a receiver open along the far sideline, and it's a complete pass. It's number 88, Ethan Henderson, coming back to the football very nicely in front of the Team Alberta bench, and that's a big Team Alberta first down, Rob.
Well, it's a good adjustment by the receiver. He sees the quarterback. He's rolling to his left originally. Nothing's open. Nothing's there. He kind of buys himself some time, goes back the other way. Receiver does a great job adjusting his route, changing it, and making sure he gets the first down. 1st
and 10, Team Alberta at the 48-yard line. And here's Cialo, number 22. Positive yardage into BC territory, taken down at the 40-yard line.
There was 7 BC guys around him while he continued to churn out yards. And again, that's what happens. BC's got momentum. They made a big play on 2nd and long, and now they can go back to their offense and just allow it to develop, be consistent in what you're doing, and you're going to make good things.
21-yard run by Martin Cialo. 1st and 10 from the 40. Quick pitch to Niembo, number 24, around the right side now. Big power sweep down to the 30. And there's a late flag after the play.
I think they caught Alec Ayo Manor. He was, again, working hard, trying to get the block. Again, if it happens after the whistle, it's going to cost him. I think this is going to go against Alberta.
Boschman was pushed back, or blocked back quite a ways. Here we go. Can't see it. Oh, it's on the other side. But it is an unnecessary roughness call against Team Alberta, and that's going to push you back during a time where you've had a really good sustained drive going. You've done a lot of positive things. And then you, as you mentioned in our previous game, it's an undisciplined penalty. And there it is. Yeah, Ayomana wanting to, well, there's finishing the block, and then there's really finishing the block. And he just about took him he just about took him through the end zone.
Well, and you want to get a body on Boschman, because if you don't, he's going to be making plays. So the positive for Alberta, it's still 1st and 10 because it happened at the end of the play.
And here's that hitch screen out to the far side now. Positive yardage for number 10, Elik Ayamanor. He gets a chance to redeem himself after the penalty. And that's a big first down for Team Alberta at the Team BC 32-yard line. So that's Ayamanor kind of redeeming himself after that penalty.
Well, and a great job by the coaching staff to, hey, you know what, you cost us, let's give you opportunity to do that. And he did just that. He made a play with his legs, caught the ball, got downhill, first down. Now they're in good shape.
Nolan under center, quick Fake pitch now into Critch, number big 35, and he rumbles across the 25-yard line down to the 24, and it's really Darcy Park loves giving the football to the big guy, number 35, Duncan Critch, and he's positive yardage every time he touches the football.
Well, the use of the fullback in our game today is
rare. Very rare.
You don't see it a lot, and again, I think he's doing a good job because he's using it to counter what's been really successful, and that's getting your speed backs to the edge. And so now what they're doing, they continue get to the edge, and then you counter with that play with your fullback. And that was probably the most successful they've ran it. They've almost ran it for, it looks like about 8 yards there on that play. So good job of setting it up, and you kind of get into the second tier. We got a little bit of a time here. We talk about developing a system, especially on offense. You kind of have your base of the pyramid where you're going to have your fundamental plays. You want to run those well. You come out doing those types of plays, and then you build on top of those. And so running to the edge would be a fundamental play, and plays that are built off of that play is what you see there with the counter, and that's where you have a counter attack. And whether it's a run or a pass play, there's different ways to set those up.
Second and short from the 24. That's Cialu straight up the middle, taken down at the 16, and that's a big Team Alberta first down. So Alberta on the move here in Game 2 of the 2018 U16 Western Challenge here at Footfield in the beautiful South Campus of the University of Alberta in Edmonton. So glad you're along with us on footballcanada.tv here in the second game. Team Manitoba secured a berth in the gold medal game coming up on Saturday at 2 o'clock with a 20-10 victory over Team Saskatchewan earlier today. And, of course, this is the nightcap of the Western Challenge doubleheader here. Team Alberta against Team BC in a low-scoring but highly entertaining football game. Now here is number 24. That's Daniel Niembo of Harry Ainley in Edmonton. Once again, we mentioned that Harry Ainley football juggernaut that won the provincial title last fall, and they look loaded for bear again. Looks like no gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the Team BC 15-yard line. There is a player shaken up on the play. That's number 55, Sterling May of Team BC, who was briefly shaken up at the end of that play. Team Alberta now 2nd and 10 from the 15. Nolan now, hitch screen, far side. That's Iomanar. Iomanar, touchdown, Team Alberta. Number 10, Elik Iomanar of Medicine Hat cashes in on that hitch screen, and we've seen this play before, Rob.
We have, and you can just tell when he gets running, then he's a very smooth runner. He ran through 2 different guys, but he's using his speed, he's using his athleticism, and that's what these games are about, and we've talked about it before, but it's about getting those athletes in space, and they executed that to perfection. The receivers were disciplined, didn't get a holding on a block. The offensive line did their job, bought the quarterback plenty of time to get that ball out, and then you've got an athlete in space, and however you can get that done, that's the result right there, and a good job by Alberta to move the ball, gain some of the momentum back in this game.
Team Alberta takes the lead with that touchdown. Looks like they're going to go for the 2-point conversion here to make it a loose football on the play. Nolan's got to go in there. Now the ball is pinballing around on the ground, so that point after is no good. The score is Team Alberta 15, Team BC 10 following that touchdown by Iomanar. But on that 2-point conversion, ball was loose, and Team Alberta has a 5-point lead here with 2:34 to go in the third quarter on footballcanada.tv.
Well, again, maybe a win, but maybe a small win for BC's defense, but again, keeping it within the score, keeping it to a 5-point. I mean, you got every point may count in the end of this game, and so I think that's important for BC. They gave up the drive, but it did take work by Alberta. They took them in quite a while. And again, we're getting close to the end of the third. It's now BC's offensive opportunity, hopefully here to show them what they can do. And again, we've got a couple good athletes back at returner, so we'll see if it can start off with a great special teams return for BC.
Team BC, of course, put together very good offensive series to close the first half. They want to regain that spark here in the second half. Here's Nolan with a big kick, fielded down at the 12-yard line. Big return now. Open field for the returner, taken out along the far side. That's number 9, Gavin Whittingham of SRT in Maple Ridge with the big return out to the 50-yard line. Or check that, I guess that's about the 47-yard line is where they're going to mark him out. But it was a big return by Whittingham, about 35 yards or 32 yards.
It looks like there's another flag on the far side of the field. Looks like an illegal block. So unfortunately, again, penalties are playing a big part of this game.
And a big return that Team BC could have really used at this after the score. When you get a big return on special teams and you get a penalty to bring it back, they lose a lot of that return yardage. And Team BC will start 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line with 2:26 to go in the third quarter. Number 13, Hunter Bowles at quarterback for Team BC, and he's going to roll right. Bowles very mobile. There's the throw. And picked off. Number 5 of Team Alberta, Ryland Feist, makes the big interception right in front of the Team BC bench. Take another look at this one, Rob.
Yeah, and again, you know what? It was a battle for the ball right in then, but we saw earlier in the game, Team Alberta, one of their corners had a chance to break on that out, and that ball is just coming a little bit late. That quarterback has got to throw it earlier or it can cost them. In that case, he's just lucky it didn't go for 6 the other way. But again, defense is going to have an opportunity, but they've got to throw that out a lot quicker.
Ryland Feist gets the interception after battling for the football. Now here's Luke Nolan with a good pocket. And it's intercepted. So now it's turnovers back-to-back here in the third quarter. A big turnover by Team BC. That's number 30, Pedro Cabanas.
Well, a great job of reading the quarterback's eyes and getting his hand up and bringing that ball into his chest and securing the interception. Again, you get excited. You get the turnover for Alberta. They go to strike quickly, and again, they give it right back to him. So again, BC's confident. They get the ball back, and now they get to continue their drive.
BC's defense has been outstanding tonight. No question about it. Big turnovers, big plays, and they've given the ball back to their offense. Crowley now at quarterback, throws deep, complete to number 1, Trammell States-Jones, 30-25 down to the Team Alberta 23-yard line. A big completion from Crowley to States-Jones.
And there's a BC offense using both their quarterbacks. You're going to see the replay. Goes up high, uses his hands, and then drags the DB another 15 yards, almost 20 yards after he made the catch. So great job. And if you see the quarterback, he was looking to the right side. He quickly switched his feet. And the fact that he moved his feet as well as his eyes, he was able to deliver a strike downfield.
Big completion down to the 22-yard line of Team Alberta. Team BC now on the move. Here's Crowley. Quick handoff to number 7, Dimitri Patterson. Inside handoff, and it's a fumble. Loose football, and Team Alberta recovers the fumble. Well, it looks like the officials are going to talk this one out. No, it will stay Team BC football. So we get what looked to be a fumble. Looked like Team Alberta was going to recover. And we've got a player down for Team BC. That is Dimitri Patterson, the ball carrier. So it looked like there was a fumble. Team Alberta certainly thought it was a loose football. Officials overruled that. And Team BC will face a 2nd and 10 here from their own 22-yard line. That is number 7, Dimitri Patterson, down on the field. Shaken up following that carry. They're taking a look at, looks like they're taking a look at his ankle. Well, Rob, we have Team BC with those, they're relying on the big play both on offense and defense, and that was a beautiful catch and run by Trammell States-Jones.
Yeah, he did a great job, and we talk about it all getting done. That was probably the quarterback's third read on that play, and so the offensive line, we talk about them. They've done a good job of buying time, protecting, creating a pocket. Quarterback was able to read the routes and say, hey, nothing's open. He didn't panic. He calmly switched his feet, took a shot downfield to his athlete, and then they made a play downfield. And then again, not allowing that to be the end of the play, getting some yak yards. And those yak yards were probably worth twice as many because he was dragging someone with him the whole way to get him down into striking distance of the end zone.
Nice hand for number 7, Dimitri Patterson, who was shaken up on that play. They're going to need some help because it looks like he's got an ankle injury. Certainly hope he can get back into the ball game, but he is definitely walking pretty gingerly on, well, not putting any weight at all on that right ankle. So we certainly hope he can get back into this ball game. 2nd and 10 now, Team BC. Team BC looking to retake the lead. They led at the half 9-7. Now Team BC back to the live action, rolling out, and Crowley takes a shot and a big catch. Oh, out in and out of the hands of the receiver. That's number 82, Caleb Schlachter, out of KLO in Kelowna, and knows he had it. Here's Crowley, but watch the hit that Crowley takes from looks like number 99, Anthony Paul. Now, I've had the pleasure of watching Anthony Paul play football since he was about 7 years old, okay? He's played with both of my sons. Anthony Paul is a beast out there, and he's a great kid. So there's the endorsement you'll get from me, but I'll tell you, Anthony Paul coming off the edge from the Millwoods Grizzlies, you better get rid of the ball quickly, and Crowley did just that.
Well, and he delivered almost the perfect ball. Unfortunately, the receiver couldn't quite maintain possession all the way to the ground. And again, he went up high, caught the ball at the top, and that's what you teach him to do. And then he secured the ball, and I think it was the contact with the ground that just jarred the ball loose. And he's just, again, strong hands we talked about for receivers. They got to squeeze that ball, pull it in, knowing it's coming, but hold on to the ball, and that would have put him up in a great situation for their offense to convert into a touchdown.
Caleb Schlachter, the Team BC player, shaken up on the play, but back to Anthony Paul, the speed off the edge for Team Alberta. He is listed as one of the players to watch, and he's certainly an exciting player for Team Alberta coming off the right edge at defensive end and certainly putting the heat on Crowley there. But Team BC not going away right now. I mean, Team Alberta, the heavy favorite coming in, but Team BC with those big plays on defense and a couple of big plays on offense, so they know that they can get it done and can score quickly. Oh, yeah. It's July 4th, so there you go. There's some patriotic footwear for our friends down south, and obviously want to wish a happy 4th to our American neighbors and friends. There's number 82, Caleb Schlachter, making his way off the field. And we will have a field goal attempt here, 29 yards. Liam Atwood from the far hash mark. Atwood from 29 yards out. Number 2, Nathan Boscheman to do the holding. There's the hold, snap, hold, and the kick is good. So Team BC has cut the lead thanks to that 29-yard field goal by Liam Atwood, number 15. And the score is now 15-13 for Team Alberta leads, but Team BC has cut the lead to 2. So a very positive series, a couple of big plays, but if you're Team BC, it may not have been, a sustained kind of drive. You relied on the big play, but no matter what, you've scored points to get you back to make this a one-score football game.
Yeah, and it's going to be close, I think, all the way to the end. We'll see if a team can kind of get an edge here, but it's going to go back and forth. And, again, pressure's back on BC's defense to, again, try to contain that Alberta offense. And if the offense gets going.
Just 3 seconds left, and there's that talk about blowing the play in early. Team BC caught off guard a little bit. Team Alberta lined up. The handoff to number 22, Sialu. And Team BC's head coach, Trent Schmuland, is telling his players, you got to be ready when that play gets blown in. Don't wait. And he's telling his guys to make sure that they are ready. So the teams will change ends, and we will begin the fourth quarter with Team Alberta holding that narrow 2-point lead, 15-13. And if you're a fan of defensive football, you're loving this one.
Yeah, you're enjoying this. The defenses are turning the ball over. They're scoring points. And, again, we're just waiting for some offensive firepower, and it just hasn't come.
No.
You know, it's come in short bursts. A couple scores obviously has happened, but, again, it's still not what we expect from two highly touted teams facing off here in the first round.
Luke Nolan begins the fourth quarter, second and short. And there's the big fella. Critch, number 35, Duncan Critch of Ardmore, 5'8", 175. He just gets behind his shoulders and away he goes. And it's a first down for Team Alberta out to their 46-yard line. Alberta wanting to make a statement here early in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, interesting, because I think they marked it at like 2nd and 7, and the sticks were messed up. So great job of converting the first down and maintaining this drive.
Here's Cialu, number 22, trying around the right side. Good tackle on the play by number 11, Deacon Young, out of NWSS in Vancouver.
Yeah, number 30, Pedro Cabanas, you can see on this play, gets into the backfield, slows him up initially, and then the team arrives behind. But that's a good job of finding a gap, getting in there, and knowing where that running back's going to be. Because often you'll see linebackers, they'll shoot the gap, but they won't find the running back there. So he did a great job of getting in and getting first contact to slow down the running back.
4-yard pickup on the play. Luke Nolan now out of the shotgun. Looks to this near side. Caught by Ethan Henderson. First down, Team Alberta. It's about an 8-yard reception, and Henderson just does a great job. Comes back to the football, and it's pretty fundamental stuff here. Look at Nolan. Ball's up, out, and there's Henderson. And that's a nice play.
And that's the difference that we've seen from Team Alberta and BC. Throwing that quick out. The quarterbacks for Team Alberta had delivered it on time. We've seen two really close ones. One's been an interception for Team Alberta. So, again, something BC can learn from that. If you're going to throw the out, get it out there in a hurry.
1st and 10 from inside BC territory. There's the handoff to Cialo, and there's a big first down as number 22, Martin Cialo of Calgary. Big first down yardage down to the 40. So that's a 13-yard pickup for number 22 of Team Alberta, and he has really carried the load here for Team Alberta. They were kind of dividing things between him and Niembo, but right now it's Cialo that's carrying the load for Team Alberta.
He definitely is, and he's running well, and he's running with great vision. He's seeing where the holes are, and the offensive line are getting a push, creating the space.
And there's the handoff straight up the middle. That's big number 35, Duncan Critch. So as we said earlier, a little bit of thunder and a little bit of lightning out there with Darcy Park willing to mix it up a bit with his running backs, giving it to Critch up the middle between the tackles, and then sending Cialo outside the tackles. So Critch leaves the field for a well-deserved break. He gets a high five from his head coach. Well, Darcy loves those guys.
And you're really relying on your offensive line to continue to move bodies to make holes, and that's what they're doing here.
You can see Duncan Critch is a football player, and Darcy Park loves football players. You can tell Critch is just one of those guys. Here's another one of those guys, Martin Cialo, who fights for every yard he gets. Nice little swing pass around the left side.
Yeah, and tackles made by Nathan Boschman. Again, free safety coming down, and he's not your typical free safety that sits back there 15, 20 yards. He's getting in plays. He's making plays all over the place. And, you know, for a very, very talented running back, that is a great tackle to bring him down and not allow him to get the first down on that play.
No, Nathan Boschman has a great nose for the football, and still concerned about that wrist, though. He is holding that right hand, and he's protecting an injury. He's staying out there when he's trying to fight through blocks he's trying to play basically with his left arm.
Interesting.
They go for it. Darcy Park goes for it on 3rd and 5 with the field position. Do you like that call?
You know, I'm not sure if I do. Again, BC has moved the ball a little bit more, but again, with the struggles their offense of having, I think punting it and trying to pin them deep may be the right call here. But now they've given up the ball with, you know, a handful of first downs here, and they're going to be in field goal range with BC and having the opportunity to possibly take the lead. So, again, we've talked about the BC defense doing a great job containing Alberta. Will they continue to do so to give their team an opportunity to win this one?
And have you given BC a little bit of a lift here? Cale Crowley now remains a quarterback for Team BC. There's that hitch screen. And lots of room. Now it's a foot race. 50, 45, 40, 30. Cuts back to the 20. Taken down at the 16-yard line. What a play by Team BC.
Well, great job.
Number 88, Logan Bookwitz, out of GW Graham in Chilliwack.
Well, great job by number 45, Maxwell von Muhldorfer. He did a great job. He took the right angle on that. Otherwise, that was a touchdown, but he ran him down. And again, that's a big man running down.
That's a defensive tackle going all the way down the field. So when Darcy and his coaching staff take a look at the film tomorrow and they see that play, boy, let's hope that they throw a shout out to Max von Muhldorfer. But Team BC, this is where that gamble now comes into play. Now you're concerned about that. Here's Team BC down 2, 7:22 to go. 1st and 10, deep inside Team Alberta territory at the 16-yard line. Here's Crowley under center. Play action. Right side, little swing pass out to the 15. It'll be a gain of maybe 1 on the play. Check that number again. I believe that's Logan Bookwitz again calling his number.
Yeah, they're using him in different ways. They've used him out of the backfield. He's a big body.
He is a big target.
They can kind of use him both as a fullback, an extra blocker, and they're on run plays, but they can also release him out. And we've seen him do some damage a couple times now tonight. And so great play selection, way to mix it up. Let's see if they can convert this 2nd down.
2nd and 9, 6:35 to go. Crowley out of the shotgun, looks left. Now throws one up, and it is just out of the reach of the receiver. That's Bookwitz again, getting his number called for the 3rd time. It's just a little fade, and it's just out of the reach of Bookwitz as he dives. Number 17 of Team Alberta with the defense on the play. That's Brady Hoyt who had the defense on the play, but a near touchdown. So now Team BC facing a 3rd down. Well, they're going to look to take a 1-point lead here from the far hash. Liam Atwood connected from 29 yards just a little earlier in the 3rd quarter. Now he's going to attempt from 22. Here's the snap. Hold. The kick is up and good. It's a line drive.
Well, someone at the line of scrimmage definitely got their hands on that ball, but he's not quite enough to keep it out of the uprights.
You know, I'll tell you, that's almost like topping the ball in golf. You get a little too much of the top half of the ball. In this case, it was deflected a little bit, but you know what? They all count, and now Team BC has a 1-point lead with 6:09 to go in the football game. So that field goal in this seesaw battle going back and forth, Team BC now leads 16-15. And here we go again with that play being blown in, and now Team Alberta looking to go hurry up. And the play is blown dead here, so be interesting to see a timeout call by Team BC.
BC had 9 guys on their field on their defense, so they're done. They need to finish celebrating their 1-point lead, and they need to get their defense out there, be ready to play.
That's right, you bet. And Trent Schmulland is, I think he's providing a little bit of helping him to remind them that they need to pay attention. In fact, the entire coaching staff has kind of gone over it a little bit. But hey, you know what? This is a great football game. It's a great battle between 2 all-star teams. I mean, we are featuring this Western Challenge. Football Canada brings these teams together, and it is the top football players from Manitoba, Saskatchewan, BC, and Alberta. So this is the type of football we're going to get. Tight games, really entertaining and with some great athletes who are really going to light up high school. There's lots of high school coaches who are watching this webcast with big smiles on their faces. Here's that hitch screen now to Ayamanor. He scored on this one earlier in the football game, and he is taken out of bounds in front of the Team BC bench by number 2. Who else? Nathan Boschman. We've been talking about him all night.
Yeah, well, Boschman does two things. You can see him knife into the backfield. He misses him, and then he gets up and comes back and he's making plays. Again, they knew it was coming, and Alberta was still able to execute for a first down, and that says a lot about the guys blocking for the receiver who gets the ball in a hurry. And so good job by Alberta executing a play which really was snuffed out early by BC. They just couldn't stop it.
1st and 10, Team Alberta from their own 45. Luke Nolan going wire to wire at quarterback under center. He'll hand off now to Sialu. Sialu around that left side. Pickup of about 4, so Sialu with a 4-yard gain, 2nd and 6. 5:28 to go. Team BC leading Team Alberta 16-15 here at the 2018 U16 Western Challenge here on footballcanada.tv.
And there's no rush for Alberta right now. They've got lots of time, but again, they do need to be efficient and they need to continue this drive. They don't want to give the ball back to BC, who's had some success on offense as of late.
And there is number 24. That is Daniel Niembo of Harry Ainley here in Edmonton. Very close to the first down. In fact, referee is going to call in the stick crew for a measurement. And while we do that, let's chat up our Football Canada national sponsors. Want to thank Volt Athletics, Rydell, Huddle, Shadowman Sports, Ambrotech, Avis, Invictus Gloves, Quest Awards, Big Chief, Meat Snacks, Choice Hotels, First Down Playbook, O-Pro Mouthguards, and Game Breaker Soft Shell Headgear. Want to thank all of these so very important and so very generous sponsors for being a part of the Football Canada team and making events like this one, this U16 Western Challenge, a reality. Here we go. Big play in the ball game here. 4:52 to go. 3rd and 1. 3rd and very short. Maybe the football. The length of the football. That might be it. Here's Nolan now. He'll call his own number, and he will easily fall forward for the first down. In fact, he picks up about 3 yards, make it 2. And Team Alberta will continue this drive 1st and 10 from the Team BC 53-yard line. So if you're Darcy Park, keep working the clock, keep this drive going, and keep the running going.
Yeah, I think he's doing a good job of staying within the game plan. He's still using the run and the pass together. Again, their short yards is executed to perfection tonight, and I think that's something I've seen from Darcy even when he's coaching his Wildcats teams. He uses that short yards, uses the personnel, and so he's keeping the drives alive.
Here's Nolan now. Hands off to Niembo. Niembo's got the edge. 40, 35, 30, and taken down out of bounds at the 26-yard line. And once Niembo gets out into the open, he's very difficult to bring down. Here he is on the edge, and he gets the edge.
And he gets the edge, and you know what that is? That's a fresh running back coming in. He hasn't taken a lot of reps. He's filled in periodically throughout the game, but he is ready to go. And when you have a tired defense who has done a great job, it's hard to catch those guys with fresh legs.
Number 6, Aaron Laguerta with the tackle, or he forced him out of bounds. And Niembo is the Team Alberta player shaken up on the far side of the field, so he gets a nice hand after that nice outside run where he got the edge and got the big first down. So it is 1st and 10, Team Alberta from the Team BC 26-yard line. Team Alberta with this drive. Luke Nolan at quarterback, as we said, going wire to wire here. Under center now. Sialu wide open. Now he's going to try and get to the outside. He does, down to the 5, 10. And he is forced out at the 6-yard line. Call it the 7-yard line. And Sialu, he gets the edge.
And again, staying with what works. And again, that's, great job by Darcy mixing in the running back. So again, when you can have a rest and you come off the bench ready to make your next play, again, you're getting two different guys taking the reps, and for the most part, it's the same guys on defense that are chasing these two quick backs around.
Number 6, Aaron LaGuerta, forcing the ball carrier out of bounds, along with number 11, Deacon Young. But here is Team Alberta. 1st and goal to go from the Team BC 9-yard line. Luke Nolan, a quarterback, under center. He'll pitch out to Sialu, cuts back, and he is taken down at about the 6-yard line, so a gain of about 3.
And once again, Nathan Boscheman in on the tackle. Unfortunately, on the play, his helmet came off, so he must leave the field. And so he's got to get a replacement in there on defense while he comes out and leaves the field.
Now Boscheman takes a knee.
Now that's interesting because I think if he comes out on a helmet, you're required to leave for at least one play. So now that he's taken a knee and they've blown the whistle, it's 3 plays. And you can see on the replay screen the officials telling the bench, now that he's taken a knee, it's a 3-play sit-out. I'm not sure if it's the same with the helmet, but he's out for 3 plays in that.
That's at a 3 plays that they may not be able to afford here. Here's Nolan now, rolling right. Is he going to keep? Now he's got wide open, number 52. That's the old, looked like the tackle eligible, Adrian Minicata. And there, Darcy Park dials up a little bit of razzle-dazzle as Minicata is basically the tackle eligible on that play.
Yeah, great job getting the D lineman in there on the mix. You got your heavy set. You're going to run the ball. You got a huge amount of commitment. You're not watching for those guys to leak out. And so great timing, great execution by the play. And I like what the quarterback did when he pulled out and started to run. He actually had the ball tucked away.
He was ready to go.
He was ready to go and then pulls the ball out, makes the throw, easy touchdown, pass and catch.
Team Alberta here as they get ready for the point after. There is a timeout called. The score as it stands is 21-16 following that unconverted touchdown. But that is a touchdown pass from Luke Nolan to number 52, Adrian Minicata. And he's a big defensive lineman. And those guys don't get a lot of chances to catch touchdown passes. And he got himself one that he'll never forget.
Well, really,
Mom, I caught a touchdown. I'm a D lineman, and I caught a touchdown pass. You'll never forget it. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And, again, talking about Boscheman being out for 3 plays, that's a play where he could have been the guy making the play. And so it became really critical. And so, again, those little pieces that catch up with BC or have caught up with BC, again, they're going to have to respond here. And now it looks like Alberta's going to go for 2 to try to extend this to an actual full 7-point lead. We'll see what happens here.
2-point conversion will make it 23-16, so that the difference would be a converted touchdown. So Team Alberta pretty much has to go for it because then it would be 22-16. You give up a touchdown the point after and you lose the ball game. Here's Nolan now, pass across the middle, and Ethan Henderson couldn't quite corral it. Good battle for the football, but the point after is no good. Number 4, Noah Gross out of Kelowna Senior Secondary School with the defense on that play.
And you can see here as he breaks inside, he's on his upfield shoulder. He's got a hand on his back and then one in front. I said that's textbook guarding that slant play. Come on that back shoulder, give yourself a chance. He did a great job defending it.
Good defense by Noah Gross. And it is a 5-point football game with 3:03 to go just before the 3-minute warning. 21-16, Team Alberta leads this one. It's been a seesaw battle all night long. And it's been a fun football game to call and a fun one to watch. We're certainly glad you've been with us here tonight on footballcanada.tv. Great to have you with us and great to have Football Canada here in Edmonton for 6 days of player development here as part of the U16 Western Challenge with teams Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and BC. And this is the nightcap of our doubleheader here, the semifinals. Team Alberta in white, Team BC in orange. Team Alberta just took the lead. Luke Nolan now with the kick. Returner could have let that one travel out of bounds and probably should have. If he had, he would have gained an extra 15 yards of field position. But Team BC will now start this drive first and 10 at their own 25. If the returner lets that ball bounce out, that's Trammell State's Jones. He lets that ball travel out of bounds. They're first and 10 at the 40. But you are trying to make a play. Check that. That was number 8, Alexandros Thanos. But you're trying to make a play in a big game. You're down by 5. 3 minutes to go. You want to try and make the play.
Yeah, and you know what? It's the little things, as we talked about. We've mentioned a few in just the last few minutes. We talk about Boschman being out. We talk about 15 yards given up on that play. And so we'll see how BC responds with a little bit of a longer field now.
Cale Cowley at quarterback. Cowley, number 10, out of the shotgun. Pumps once, fires. Now deep. State looking for States Jones just over the wrong shoulder. Pass intended for Trammell States Jones. Coverage on the play by number 32, Michael Peloso.
And great job, little pump fake there on the go, and then he actually had him wide open. Again, he just couldn't quite locate the ball, and a very, very difficult play for a receiver is if you're looking over your inside shoulder, if it's thrown too far outside, you actually have to turn your head around, which he did, and there's drills you do to practice that over and over again. Very difficult to regain kind of where you are and where that ball is relative to where you are. He just wasn't able to catch up to that one, but great play and great call.
All while trying to run at full speed. There's Cowley, number 10, complete to States Jones. Good defense by number 32, Michael Peloso. Like you say, you get turned around. You're trying to turn your head and trying to run as fast as you can. But States Jones makes a good catch along the far sideline, and that'll bring up third and a short 2.
And BC's bringing in some bigger guys, and so it looks like they're going to be going for it, which, of course, is the right decision at this point in time in the game. It's good to see their personnel is ready. They're on the ball. They're ready to come in, and now we'll see if Alberta can come up with a big third down stop here.
Third and 2, Team BC. Biggest play of the ball game right here, 2:34. Cowley at quarterback, under center. Here's the handoff. Around the right side. And a big first down for Team BC out at their own 41-yard line. So Trent Schmullen brings in the extra personnel, and Team BC has a very big first down, Rob.
Yeah, again, big play, short yardage. Again, a little risky going to the outside, but they executed well, and they got bodies on bodies. When you have a big running back like that carrying the ball, he can take on the last tackler and make sure he secures the first down.
2:27 to go in the football game. Here's Team BC at their own 42. And the play is blown dead at the snap. Flags fly pretty much everywhere. So Cowley tucks the ball away. Down by 5, 2:36 to go. So if you're Trent Schmullen, there's an illegal procedure call, so it's a 5-yard penalty, first and 15. So if you're Trent Schmullen, do you want to try and use up the clock, but also at the same time maybe look for Trammell States Jones or try to make the big play on the outside?
You know, I think you've got to be a little conservative here. You mean you obviously have the option of getting it downfield, but I think you need to not score right away. Because I think they're going to defend against a really deep ball. Take what you can get and do your best. And there you go, a little screen pass.
There's States Jones on that screen pass. There is a flag on this near side, so quick little slant pattern to Trammell States Jones. And he gains maybe 2 or 3 on that one.
Great defensive play, snuffing it out, making a tackle, again, reducing the game. But I think, unfortunately, penalty may be going against Alberta. So, again, they're getting him right back in the first and 10. So, again, Alberta, once again, penalties proving costly.
So here we go, first and 10. You're right, absolutely right, that penalty against Team Alberta. So now it's essentially a fresh set of downs, and Team BC is back where they started, essentially. First and 10 from their own 42, 2:20 to go. So glad you're along with us here in Game 2 of the 2018 U16 Western Challenge. Team BC, Team Alberta. Here's Cowley, back to pass, going up top. Has a man deep and just off the hands of Logan Bookwitz. Just off the hands of Logan Bookwitz, who had a big play earlier in the ball game. And he's a big target. Cowley goes up top.
Well, and you couldn't have asked for a nicer ball. It's just so close,
football.
just coming down out of the sunshine there. Again, they've found so many ways to find Logan the ball. And I mean, credit to BC's coaching staff, using their athletes, putting them in different positions to make plays. But now they're in a 2nd and 10, and they're going to have to get some yards here.
And you can see against the bull on the backdrop behind the Alberta bench, when Buckwitz went up for that ball, he had the sun right in his eyes. Here's Cowley now, back to pass. Deep pass to number 88, Logan Buckwitz. Team BC bench is calling for a flag. And Buckwitz is wondering about the coverage. Here we go, Rob. Did Team Alberta get away with one here?
From my first view of the live action, if I was number 88.
As an old maybe take your experience as an old wide receiver. Let's remove that.
I think it could have definitely gone either way. You know, he was doing a good job of fighting back to the ball, and when you do that as a receiver, sometimes you're able to draw that flag, and the Alberta DB just stayed with him, and again, got away with it. Whatever, it's 3rd down.
3rd and 10, Team BC, timeout called by Team BC. So it's still Canadian football. 2:07. That's a lifetime to go in a one touchdown game. But it is third down. But I mean, in a 1 touchdown game, even if it's 2:07, you've still got time. You can still try and get the ball back, a turnover, or maybe a quick 2 and out if you can. But if you're Team BC, you've got to get the ball into the hands of your playmakers. So I'm thinking they're going to try and look for Trammell States-Jones.
You got to think so. And, you know, they've got to convert this. And I think the right call is to go for it. I mean, Alberta's offense has gained some momentum. They have been able to move the ball here in the fourth quarter. So I would not want to give it back to them and let that running game just chew up the clock to finish this game. You know what? If you're going to give it back to them, go for it on 3rd down. If you don't convert, your defense is still going to have to make a stop. I'm going to have to stop them. Hopefully you get one more shot if you don't get it here.
There's quarterback Cale Cowley of Terry Fox in Maple Ridge. 6'4", 165.
And again, he's done a great job coming in off the bench early in the game. He's executed the offense fairly well.
Came in cold after an injury, you know.
And throwing a really nice ball all game long.
Here's Cowley now. Big play here, 2:07 to go, 3rd and 10. Team BC needing to convert. Here's Cowley out of the shotgun, drops back, little screen pass. And the receiver is taken down right at the line of scrimmage. Nice defensive play. Joel DeMail of Red Deer, number 42, number 55, Jack Dutton of Pritis, snuff out that screen pass, that little middle screen, and Team Alberta takes over on downs. And now inside Team BC territory at the BC 45-yard line, Team Alberta wants to close this one out now.
Yeah, an interesting play call on 3rd down. Alberta hasn't really gotten a lot of pressure on the quarterback and throwing the ball, and that's typically when you decide to run a screen play. And so, again, without the pressure, I'm not sure that worked very well.
Here's Luke Nolan now. Handoff to Sialu, number 22. He's had a very busy evening. Highly productive evening, too.
Yeah, this run game for Alberta has really set the tone for it right from the beginning. They've done a great job, and they've really executed well, and they haven't gone away from it. When it doesn't work, they've stuck with it, and it has continued to work. You know, one play doesn't go anywhere, the next play's a long break. So big 2nd down here for BC's defense.
Sialu with the 4-yard pickup, 2nd and 6. Nolan under center. 1:43 to go in the football game. Team Alberta with that narrow 5-point lead. Here's Sialu, number 22, around the left side, going to be close to the 1st down. Very, very close to the 1st down. Right at the 35-yard line. The 1st down marker is really right between the 34 and 35, so about the length of the football short. I would say 3rd and 1, and looks like Darcy Park is going to go for it here.
Yeah, no doubt you want to go for it. And if you can convert this first down, you're going to do a good job of taking
close things out.
A good chunk of time. So third in the length of a football. And again, their short yardage all game has done a really good job of converting these. So it's going to be a big task for BC to get a really big push. And we talk about the difference in these games. You so often see the flash and dash of your running backs doing their job. But again, the O-line and D-line, they're the ones that are really going to have to step up and make a play here. And we'll find out if whose O-line is going to do it. And as we talk about it right now, Darcy's sent in his heavy unit. And I love this offensive set. We've seen it a couple times today. And BC hasn't adjusted really well. And what I'm talking about is they have 2 tight ends on either side of the offensive line, and then they essentially have 3 more linebacker D-line lined up on one side or the other. And so when you talk about 3 to 4 yards of space left of the center, you've got 6 big bodies. And again, if you don't adjust as a defense, there's no way 3 or 2 guys can stop 6 big bodies coming at you. So
it's really strength versus strength right now. Biggest play of the ball game right here at the 35-yard line. The second game of the 2018 U16 Western Challenge comes down to this play. 3rd and 1. Team Alberta from the Team BC 35. Luke Nolan at quarterback.
So there's the set I'm talking about. You got 3 fullback linemen on the left-hand side, and they go right behind them for the yard.
And it is more than a yard as number 27, Spencer Stanko of Lethbridge, 5'10", 176. He converts that first down. There is a Team BC player shaken up on the play right at about the 28-yard line. But there is Stanko right around that left side behind that jumbo package around the left side. And and like you say, with Darcy has had success. Of course, the big offensive line, you got Joseph Coffey of Leduc, Nicholas LeMay of Beaver County. He's 6'1", 274. You got some other big guys up on that offensive line. Kiston Watchmaker of Kahiwan, he's 6'3", 240. You've got Darcy Park's got a big offensive line, and he has used it to its full advantage tonight.
Yeah, and you know what? All night long we've seen him succeed on those short plays, 2nd and 1, 3rd and 1. And again, at critical moments. And it takes time. It takes time to develop the timing of those. And we saw in the first quarter, I believe it was, when they were heading the other direction on the field, they actually had to call a timeout and make sure that unit understood, here is how you need to line up. They execute on that play, and they've executed ever since. And it's really made a difference on a number of these drives on those short plays.
1:09 to go here in the fourth quarter. We're so glad you're along with us. Make sure you stay with us. Coming up on Saturday, 11 a.m., the bronze medal game in this 4-team, 4-game tournament will go at kickoff right here at Foot Field, 11 a.m. Saturday morning. Make sure you tune in to footballcanada.tv for our special webcast. That's the bronze medal game, the 3-4 game at 11 a.m., and then the gold medal game kicks off at 2 p.m. right here at Foot Field. Make sure you're right here with us as we will take you through the championship games of this U16 Western Challenge, this 6-day event put on by Football Canada, and we certainly appreciate their commitment to the athletes and to the great sport of football. That's number 34. That's Jamil Youssef, who has a touchdown tonight. Of course, he had the first points of the game where he had he had an interception off the pass batted down at the line of scrimmage. It landed literally right in his lap, yeah. And Youssef went about 35, 40 yards for the touchdown. So he's coming off the field after being shaken up, and Team Alberta,
now
first and 10.
Now as a defense, you're looking to strip the ball, right? You've got to force the turnover here. And again, the running game of Alberta has been so successful. They're going to go right back to it, and they're going to see what they can do.
Here's Cialo now, number 22. He's got the edge, down 25, down to the 20-yard line. There's a flag thrown in the Team BC defensive backfield, or just in that linebacker area there. And there's Cialo so elusive right at the point of attack. He's got that one, he'll give you that kind of dead leg or that slow leg, and then he can find another gear to get to the edge. So Sialu has had a tremendous performance here tonight.
Yeah, a very dynamic running back that's using all his giftings, obviously, to be an effective football player and a running back. And he's really controlled this game from start to finish.
Great performance by Sialu and really by the entire running back core of Team Alberta. They've had a very good night tonight. Sialu, Niembo have both contributed. Spencer Stanko has contributed a couple of key first downs that he's converted. That's all. Looks like a holding penalty against Team Alberta. So it'll be 1st and 20. Back things up to the Team BC 40 with 58 seconds to go. Here's change at quarterback. Dallas Stace Smith of Calgary, number 12 under center. And he'll hand off to Sialu. He's got room. He cuts back. He drags a couple of tacklers with him inside the 30-yard line, taken down at the 29. So Dallas Stace Smith of Calgary now in at quarterback.
You know, and you talk about those Hoggies again, just getting bodies on bodies, and they're sealing their blocks, they're maintaining their blocks, giving running backs the opportunity, and it's not always the perfect hold. But again, if you keep, there's no way these defenders with someone in their face, someone with two hands on them, is going to be able to make one-arm tackles on these running backs, and they're doing a fabulous job of continuing to do that. And this is what it takes to close out a football game. It takes a running attack that, again, needs to be consistent. We've seen that all night, and again, that's what they're relying on here to try to close this game out.
Stace Smith now takes over at quarterback from Luke Nolan. And there's the other handoff there. Loose football on the play. We'll see if that play was blown dead, and it is. And in fact, the officials do rule that.
That was definitely a very early whistle because I don't think he was even close to down. And again, the replay doesn't quite get it. I think he may have gotten the ball back. But again, tough twist on his knee, so we'll see if he's okay getting up because he definitely went down awkwardly, and we hope for him if they end up finishing this game with a victory that he's able to play on Saturday. It looks like he's up and ready to go again.
And so here we go. Back to the live action, 3rd and long here. 3rd and 9, Team Alberta. The final seconds click down here, and there is a time count violation called with 4 seconds to go. So Darcy Park will be content to just close this one out. They want 7 seconds put back. Referee wants 7 seconds put back on the clock. Looks like number 7, Jacob King, is going to line up to kick this one away.
I'd be shocked if they kick this one.
I was going to say, Jacob King may just fall down on the football and give Team BC the long field, but it is 7 seconds.
It is 7 seconds. You're not going to have time.
So you're going to, you can't just fall down now, or you give Team BC amazing field position and the chance to take one last shot. One last Hail Mary kind of play. 21-16, Team Alberta leads. Final 7 seconds of the football game, and here's Jacob King, and he will kick this one away. And here's Boscheman, number 2, at his own 15. Nice little move at the 15, and he is taken down. That is the final play of the football game, and Team Alberta has come away with a 21-16 win over Team BC. Team Alberta now moves in to the gold medal game on Saturday afternoon right here at Footfield at 2 p.m.
It definitely didn't come with a whole lot of adversity for Team Alberta, but in the end they were able to overcome the obstacles. I mean, from the very first offensive series when they gave up a pick 6 for the first score of the game for BC, and then even throughout there was mishaps, there was missteps, and we talked, what did Darcy deliver at halftime? He says, you got to work on the next play and you got to win this half, and they were able to come out after being down, keeping their poise on offense, executing their offense as they needed to on the final drive to take the lead, and eventually their running game was able to close this game out. Hard-fought victory by Team Alberta and a great performance by Team BC.
the seedings. I guess whoever was doing the seedings was bang on, because it was the seedings going into the tournament were Alberta, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, BC, and that's what we will have for matchups in the medal round. Saskatchewan will take on BC in the bronze medal game coming up at 11 o'clock on Saturday morning, and the gold medal game will be Alberta versus Manitoba at 2 p.m. right here at Foot Field. And we want to thank you for joining us here in Game 2 of the 2018 Football Canada U16 Western Challenge. Team Alberta have earned a spot in Saturday's gold medal game with a 21-16 victory over Team BC. With tonight's result, the bronze medal and gold medal games are set. Team BC will take on Team Saskatchewan at 11 a.m. right here at Foot Field on Saturday, July 7th, while the gold medal game between Team Manitoba and Team Alberta will kick off at 2 p.m. local time. Please join us once again Saturday right here on footballcanada.tv. On behalf of Rob Harrod, I would like to thank you for joining us here at the 2018 Football Canada U16 Western Challenge, and please join us on Saturday beginning at 11 a.m. for the bronze medal game right here on footballcanada.tv. I'm Kevin Donnan. Thank you for joining us at the U16 Western Challenge, and have a pleasant evening from Foot Field. Good night.
Number 10, Kale Kelly. The winner of the Offensive Player of the Game award for Team Alberta is number 22. Is number 53, Taj Booty. The winner of the Defensive Player of the Game award for Team Alberta, number 55, Jack Dunn. Congratulations to both teams. We'll see everyone back here on Saturday in the bronze medal game and gold medal game. Please join us.